Tonight on Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw. With 7 wins in 10 games, Regina is peaking just in time for the playoffs. But opposing rinks have been temples of doom for the Pats, a problem they must solve on their quest for the Holy Grail. Eastern finalists a year ago, Prince Albert knows all about getting hot at the right time. And with just 5 points between them and the playoffs, PA intends to be raiders of the last spot. Another adventure awaits. It's the Pats and Raiders, next on Shaw. Hello everybody and welcome to Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw. I'm your host, Scott Rintoul. Tonight's matchup, an all-Saskatchewan affair between two clubs with plenty to play for. For the Regina Pats, second place is still within reach, and home ice advantage would be huge in the playoffs. The Pats are among the WHL's best in their own rink, but rank among the worst on the road. That's good news for the host Raiders, who need points in the worst way. Prince Albert trails Brandon by 5 points in the chase for the final playoff position, and the Raiders will make up their one game in hand tonight against the Pats. For more on tonight's matchup, let's send you to the Art Hauser Centre where Drew Halbrick and Heath Mulligan are getting ready to call tonight's game.
Thanks very much, Scott, and welcome to the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert. Drew Halbrick along with Heath Mulligan, and tonight we have an East Division showdown, the Raiders against the Regina Pats, and both these teams trying to make up some ground in the playoff race. We're almost there. It's that time of year again.
All these games becoming so important now, and Regina, a big emotional lift with their win over Moose Jaw, breaking that Warriors winning streak. And for Prince Albert, they had a little win streak going, but then slipped last night in one of those 4-point games.
Big night for the Raiders head coach Peter Anholt. More with that, we'll head downstairs to Keith Hopper.
At the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert, here with head coach Peter Anholt of the Prince Albert Raiders. Peter, it's your 888th game behind the bench tonight, but I'm thinking that is probably the furthest from your mind, is it not?
Well, I think that you're exactly right. You know, you don't really pay too much attention to those kind of numbers when you're involved in it. You know, I guess probably people look back and reflect on it afterwards, but when you're involved in the season and you're trying to find a way to get points and you're trying to find a way to get into the playoffs, you know, numbers like that really don't matter right now.
What do you think needs to be done to make that 888th a victory?
Well, I think we got to be a lot smarter team tonight than we were probably last night against Brandon. I think that, you know, I think that we worked hard at times, but I think for the most part we didn't work smart. And, you know, this is our third in 3 nights. We're a little bit scuffed up, so we're a little bit short-handed. So we have to play a smart game. We can't be just running all over the place and you know, work without a reason. We have to work with a purpose, and if we do that, we should be able to make things happen.
Peter, thank you.
Thanks.
Head coach Peter Anholt of the Prince Albert Raiders, coaching his 888th game tonight from the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We go back to WHL Central in Vancouver and join Scott Rintoul.
Hey, thanks very much, Keith. A city named after a queen taking on one named after a prince. We got the makings of a Royal Rumble in PA. We're coming right back with the opening face-off between the Pats and Raiders when Boston Pizza WHL Hockey continues on Shaw.
Welcome back to the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert. First period just underway here this evening, and the Regina Pats find themselves on the man advantage as Nick Ross brings the puck up through center ice. Still scoreless as he flips it in deep. A.J. Thielen back behind his own net. Alex Archibald starting in goal tonight for the Raiders. Has it behind him, thrown out in front. Matt Robinson's knocked down, and the Raiders will bring it ahead out through center ice. Doucette rolls it in deep. Ducks under the check of Nick Ross, puck free in the corner, and Kyler Ross takes over for Regina. Knocked off his stick by Michael Polak. The Pats with time to regroup here on the power play with 1:14 to go in the minor to Jeff May. Robinson through center. He's stopped up. Polak will bring it back shorthanded. Across the line, the snapshot goes off the stick of Logan Pyatt. High and out of play. Scoreless early in PA here in the first period. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Garrett Festerling takes a slash from Mike Gauthier as he brings it in. Festerling got the overtime winner on home ice last night, and that thrilling come from behind victory for the Pats over their arch rival Moose Jaw Warriors. Pyatt at the point. to Peter Callis. He moves it down low. Festerling back up on the boards, and Bernhardt feeds the point. Pyatt moves it back onto the half wall where Bernhardt battles there with McDonald. And the Raiders again find it, and they'll clear it down the ice with half a minute to go in the Prince Albert penalty.
Well, that's good work on the penalty kill so far for the Raiders. There hasn't been a good scoring chance, and they kept the puck way out on the perimeter that time.
Craig Shearer will bring it out through center. Nick Ross takes the pass across the line, throws it in front, and then he eludes everyone. Shearer at the line will keep it in. Callis battling with Chipchura. Here's Shearer at the right point. Through traffic, Archibald to save, and the rebound is picked up by Festerling. They'll pop it back in behind for Callis again. And he's in traffic in the corner as the Raiders return to full strength as May steps back onto the ice. And May will have the puck slide through his skates, gathers it in, shoots it as far as the line where Chipchura gets it and brings it in. Drop back to Hellier, back in front. Chipchura tied up by Shearer. Couldn't pull the trigger on the given goal. Point pass gets in behind DePap. And the Raiders have to go all the way back in their own zone to regroup. Here's Justin Palazzo. Leaves it behind his goal for Mike Gauthier. The BC boy up the wing to DePap. Hewson with it, and he'll move it up on the boards. A little too hard though, and it's an icing call against the Raiders. Not quite 4 minutes gone in this scoreless first period.
Well, there's David Reekie. He's been the guy carrying the load for the Pats this year, and I know that they've been very, very happy with his play. He's got a 3.21 goals against average. It may not seem exceptional, but look at the win-loss record. It's been strong.
Reekie will likely see a bit of rubber here tonight as the Pats are playing their third game in as many nights as are the Prince Albert Raiders. Pats back-to-back nights. Raiders 3-3 this weekend. And the Raiders coming off a split against the Brandon Wheat Kings, the team they're trying to track down for that final playoff spot in the East Division. Logan Pyatt in down deep to Jordan Footer, hopped over his stick, and Gauthier gobbles it up for the home side. He can't clear though as Levi Lind hustles across and cuts off the pass, and he'll pull the puck out of the pile. Lind in the high slot, right on Archibald to save. And on his first test of the hockey game, he'll hang on to it, and he'll get a whistle. Archibald hasn't played a whole lot as of late, but Peter Anholt's expecting a lot from the Ottawa native here this evening.
Well, it's kind of a funny story. There's his win-loss, 5-12-7, and here's a guy who, a couple of years ago was thought to be one of the great up-and-coming Canadian goaltenders, and I wonder if the pressure maybe didn't, bend him just a little bit. Jesse Deckard has been kind of the guy here playing most of the time lately, but Archibald is solid in there, and if he puts his A game in, who knows if he doesn't earn himself a chance to play more down the stretch.
Josh Foth shooting it in for the Pats, and Archibald has it behind his net. McDonald steals, trying to center. Palazzo getting in the way, and he's able to clear it back out. Foth again will fire it high and deep into that Prince Albert zone. Thielen on it, first round draft choice of the Minnesota Wild in behind the goal. Another first rounder picks it up. That's Kyle Chipchura. Thielen out through the middle. Hellier had it, couldn't clear. McDonald's got it for the Pats. Nice work by Hellier to steal it right back. And he'll bring it across the Regina blue line. Chipchura centers. Here comes Dane Byers. Can't pull the trigger. Hellier back behind the goal. Penalty on the way. This is going to go against the Pats, as referee Devin Klein will send the Regina player off for holding. And we'll get our first look at the Prince Albert power play tonight.
Well, Dane Byers is a player for the Raiders who will take his fair share of penalties. He's usually around when there's a little pushing and shoving to be done, but that time he draws the penalty. And leading into that penalty being called behind the net, we saw Kyle Chipchura and what he can do with the puck. He's got such great vision on the ice. He makes more great passes than a lot of players in this league, and by golly, he's 20 years old tonight too.
Big birthday for him. We'll see if he can make the hometown fans happy on his birthday tonight. At the line, Seitzinen had it, lost it. Here's a chance, shorthanded, a breakaway for Kyle Ross, but it's going to be called back. Yeah. Interference or a tripping call at center. As you saw it, Heath, Pat player got tied up with a Raider at center, and that will stop the breakaway for Ross in its tracks.
Well, that's a bit of a tough break for Logan Pyatt because he's going to get called for the penalty. On the other hand, had he not gotten hooked up with one of the Raider defensemen, the breakaway might not have happened. Here's a look at it. It's one of those unintentional things, but the fact is he got his stick and his skate tied up a little bit on Seitzinen there, and that's what caused the breakaway.
Well, what a turn of events for a breakaway for the Pats. Now they're 2 men short for over a minute 45. A great chance for the Raiders to open up the scoring in this hockey game it's brought in by Aki Seitzinen. Novak centers. Chipchura can't get a handle on it. It's picked off and cleared by Derek Reinhardt. Big test early for the visitors, down by a pair, and the Raiders would love to open the scoring and get the crowd into this hockey game early on as Seitsonen gains the zone. Thought about dropping it back to the point, instead swings it in deep. Novak had it stolen by Reinhardt. The Columbus Blue Jackets prospect can't clear. At the point, it's A.J. Thielen. He winds and fires, blocked up top, and cleared. Nice work by Matt Robinson, sacrificing the body to get the puck down the ice. Chipchura again at his line, waiting and looking. In the middle, he's got Seitsonen, who brings it across the line, stops and dishes it off to Dane Byers. In front, broken up by Kyle Ross. Bouncing puck, Novak feeds the point. Seitsonen to Thielen, back to Seitsonen, backdoor to Chipchura. He waits and looks, and Thielen's got it again. Seitsonen in the left circle. Lots of traffic in front, tipped wide by Byers, who leads the Raiders with 9 power play goals and had a pretty good chance for his 10th right there. Seitsonen to Thielen, he whistles it wide off the end boards. Riki will sprawl on that. And the Pats have weathered the storm so far, still 37 seconds to go in a 2-man advantage.
Here's a look at Chipchura setting it up at the point, and they started to work the puck around quite nicely here. I thought in the first few seconds of that power play, maybe they took a couple shots that weren't real high percentage shots, but that's a nice play down low to Byers.
Raiders win the draw, and they'll play it back to the point. Seitsonen looks it over, feeds Thielen. Seitsonen back to Thielen. He's got a bullet, lets it fly, and Ariki's there to kick it out. Byers and Novak all in front of David Ariki. Chipchura, side of the goal to Byers. Now back to the point, Thielen with it. Lots of traffic again in front of Riki. Seitsonen throws it down low to Chipchura over his stick. Pats play it around the boards, where Seitsonen's got it again. He'll shoot off his skate and wide as Festerling got in the way. Chipchura waiting, looking, 5 seconds to go in the first Pats penalty. Thielen a drive off the post, they score! Brett Novak cashes in the loose puck, and the Raiders lead it 1-0.
Enrique was pretty frustrated after that one. You may or may not have seen him throw his stick, but there's 2 men in the crease earlier on the power play, and there's 2 men here again. Byers, I think, redirected it from the point. The loose puck sitting there for Novak, and Enrique's got all kinds of people in his front yard, and he's very, very frustrated after the goal, but you could see this coming because Prince Albert kept putting the 2 big guys into the crease area there, and Enrique's not going to be able to squeeze the puck every time. And they did manage to score that one with 2 players still in the box, so they'll have a quick little piece of another power play here.
If indeed they give Novak the goal, it's his 8th of the year coming on the power play. A 2-man advantage at 7:09 as Trach is in. His shot goes off his stick high and out of play, and the faceoff should remain inside the Regina zone. And a good start for the Raiders here on home ice, Heath, as they let that one last night get away from them against the Brandon Wheat Kings. They know if they want to catch Brandon this game tonight, an East Division matchup, they've got to have a good effort and a good start so far.
Yeah, and it's nice to see them, you know, they got the benefit, I guess, of the 2 penalties early, but it's good to see them from a bounce-back perspective to come out and play. There's Peter Anholt. Wow, 888 games coached. That's amazing.
You know what that says to me? That's a lot of bus trips to coach that many games. Here's an icing call against the Pats, and as you said, Peter Anholt, we heard Keith Hopper chatting with him before the game tonight. 888 career games coached, 4th all-time. That is quite the accomplishment for Mr. Peter Anholt.
I got to go back to the bus thing. That is unbelievable what these players and these coaches and people involved in Canadian junior hockey go through. You've got to love this sport a lot, and I don't mean a lot, I mean a lot, to live that lifestyle.
Raiders lead the game 1-0 as they look for more here in the Pats zone. Houston all wrapped up by Craig Shearer. They continue their battle in deep. Polak also in the fray, and he'll skate away with the puck. Polak cutting out to the slot. Off his stick, kept in by Thielen. He'll dump it back in behind the Pats net. Hoth rips it around the boards, held in by Gauthier. Off again, trying to clear, can't do it. Held in by Lavoie. He's tied up with Festerling. Referee Devin Klein skates out of the way, where the puck's picked up by Craig Shearer, and he'll slide it up the middle to Garrett Festerling. A 2-on-2 is Festerling. Gives it to Peter Callis. He lost an edge and goes crashing down to the ice. Gauthier up the middle, trying to hook up with Brett Novak, playing in his 317th career WHL game. Brett Novak all with the Prince Albert Raiders. That's also quite the accomplishment, as he's tied up by Craig Shearer. Puck in their skates. Novak still with it, the Melville native. Gets it back up top to the point. That shot bounces off a leg, didn't get through as McDonald let it go. Novak cycles it. Doucette picks it up. And the Pats steal. Callis outlets to Bernhardt. They'll bring it across the line. Peter Callis is dangerous. Walks in. That shot's off his stick, off the high glass. It'll stay in play as the Raiders keep it alive. Point. Reinhardt shoots. Archibald to save. And the rebound. Bernhardt there. Archibald down and out. And Devin Klein stops the play.
Wow. I'm not sure exactly why the play stopped, but there's a penalty call because Klein was behind the net, and I am a long way away from there, but I could have sworn I saw the puck laying behind Archibald, and I thought Klein should have been able to see it there. Watch. There it is. Oh, I suppose right there he couldn't see the puck and blew the whistle down, and that was good news for the Prince Albert Raiders as that one rolled very, very frighteningly through the crease.
Shots on goal 5-4 in favor of Regina. But the Raiders have the 1-0 lead as we approach the 9-minute mark of this opening period. Footer bumps with Hellier as the puck's flipped in behind the Raider net. McDonald eludes 1-4 checker up onto the wing from Mike Hellier. He'll take the hit to play it out all the way down the ice. They'll wave off the icing, however, as the Pats regroup. Reinhardt, his Sensman up on the right side. He takes a bump, gets it out. Levi Lind, the only Pat player in neutral ice, and he'll throw it across the PA line where it's picked up by Kyle Chipchura. The Montreal Canadiens first rounder gives it away across the line as Robinson, but he lost the handle, and again the Raiders will send it the distance. But this time they will call it icing against Prince Albert.
Well, the home team is getting what they want, and the blue, red, and white right now are hoping that they can get the next one in this game. It's never a lot of fun to slip behind on the road, and of course, the last time these two teams played, those guys weren't able to score a goal, and Curtis Hunt is hoping for a little better outcome than that.
Season series between these two teams is even at 3 wins apiece, and 3 of those games have gone to shootouts. We'll see if we get that far here on a Sunday night in Prince Albert. Josh Foth with it at center ice. He's got plenty of time. He came over from Kootenay to Regina during the course of the season. Tolpecco had it roll off his stick, and Archibald's out to play it. Picked up by Robinson. Fans on his centering attempt. Feeds the point. Foth there. That blast is off the mark. And Trach feeds the point. Shira walks in off the line. Shoots it through legs and wide. Polak takes a big bump. Penalty coming as Robinson got him from behind, according to Devin Klein. And it'll be another Prince Albert power play as we take a timeout. 1-0 Prince Albert leads the hockey game midway through the first period here on Shaw.
Here's the look at the penalty. Sorry, Drew. Robinson just a little up high in the head area there, and a little bit from the back, and a little bit along the boards. And
well, Prince Albert's got their third power play opportunity of the hockey game. They're 1-for-2 on the evening as Seitsonen will dangle his way in. He's given a bump from behind by Pyatt. And the Raiders are going to go on the 2-man advantage again. They're going to stop play, though, because Seitsonen appeared to be hurt. And we get a bit of a scrum deep in the Regina zone. Well, Heath, you don't see it very often, but tonight we'll see a second straight 2-man advantage, another lengthy 2-man advantage coming up here with 1:39 to go in the Robinson penalty. It appears Logan Pyatt will be heading off as well.
Wow, that's one of those that I guess, everybody's up and at him, so I guess it looked a lot worse than it really was, but oh boy, you just got to be careful when you're putting the hands on a guy like that with his back toward you near the boards. It's the most dangerous thing I think we ever see in hockey, and there were a couple of extra penalties after the fact here now, and I don't think we're going to get the 5-on-3 here, Drew.
That's right. I think it's even out, actually. Evan Schaefer's gone to the box for the Raiders as well, so Devin Klein, instead of giving the Raiders another 5-on-3 power play, it will remain 5-on-4 as Pyatt and Schaefer both go to the sin bin. Raiders win the draw. They've been pretty good in the face-off department thus far. Seitsonen across to Thielen. He shoots right on. Riki, top of his crease, makes the save and doesn't give up that rebound.
Schaefer got the penalty for roughing and checking from behind, of course, to Pyatt, and that's what we get in this situation. It's a fortunate break, I guess, for Regina. They didn't get an extra penalty.
Chipchura on the face-off against Kyle Ross, and the Regina centerman wins it. But the Raiders get control as Chipchura steals it in behind the goal. Looking out front, slides away from Reinhardt, now throws it up top. Thielen right on, Riki the save, and the rebound's cleared as far as the line, where Seitzonen's got it for the Raiders. Chipchura, side of the goal for Byers. So we said he's got 9 power play goals to lead the team this year, but the Pats pick it off, and Ross will swing it down the ice. They're going to stop play as the puck was hit with a high stick, and the face-off will come up in the Raiders zone with under 9 minutes to go in this opening period. And the Raiders continue their power play.
Oh, Curtis unscratching his head thinking, what are we going to do here? We got to see if we can't get a little momentum here somehow, and being in the penalty box isn't really going to help things out. There's a shot on goal by the Raiders looking for another power play chance. You know, they've given up the most shorthanded goals in the league this year, 14 of them. They're only tied for worst, though.
Raiders gain entry into the offensive zone again. They'll look to set it up as Chipchura gets it. 50 seconds to go in the power play. Rink wide. Seitsonen in front, and Hellier deflects it wide. Picked up again by Chipchura. The World Junior gold medalist to Seitsonen. His shot is blocked, and it's cleared by Reinhardt. Pats will change up the penalty kill here as Archibald comes out to handle it. And leading it back up ice is Jeff May. Product of Richmond, BC. He'll drill it in off the corner boards. Nick Ross flips it back behind the goal. Shira whistles it around the boards, and again, the Pats are able to get it down the ice.
Talk about Chipchura's medal. Seitsonen has the bronze. Do you think Seitsonen was giving it to the boys a little today about the Olympic 2-0 Finnish win?
Well, I think every Canadian on the face of the earth is hearing it the last couple of days after the way things have gone in Turin for the hockey club.
We're getting a little uptight.
Absolutely, but those games are meaningless, they say. This one far from meaningless as Thielen gets it ahead to Byers, and he'll push the puck into the corner. Robinson comes out of the box as the Pats have killed off the penalty, and Robinson's got the puck. He comes ahead to center ice with Dennis Topeko 2-on-2. The Russian sniper drops it off to Kyle Ross. He walks in, shoots. Archibald the save, and the rebound is gathered up by Michael Polak. He's knocked down to the ice by Robinson, and as Archibald flops on it, we'll see another Regina penalty as Devin Klein is going to send another Pat player to the box, this time Matt Robinson again.
And Robinson is pleading his case over there. Let's see this shot. Did this hit a post? Well, the way it came bouncing out of there, it might have hit a post or a player's leg there in the crease, but it didn't go in the net.
It's been a tough first period for the boys in blue here tonight as they've been killing off a whole heap of penalties. We've played 12 and a half minutes. Here's a look at that opportunity. No, I don't think it did get through. We'll get a chance to see what the Raiders can do here now on their fourth power play opportunity as Polak has it deep in his own zone. He'll drop it off for A.J. Thielen, and the Raiders are going to have to capitalize on these chances as they'll go up the middle. Doucette at the line, dumps it in deep. Riki will tee it up for Shira. Hard around the boards, kept in by Gauthier, and he'll give it to Novak. Polak with it. Up top it goes. Gauthier across to Thielen, through traffic and wide. He's the trigger man here on this Raiders man advantage. A.J. Thielen is. See if the Raiders can get him the puck again. Here they do as Thielen's got it. No shooting lane though as he's being watched by Ian Duval. Doucette into the corner for Novak. He's got the game's lone goal. Pat player gets his stick in the way, and Fuder gets the puck and lifts it down inside PA territory.
You said it, that's smart work by Regina, no shooting lane, because the Raiders are clearly trying to get that shot off from the point. Again, men parked at either side of the crease looking for a loose puck. Don't let them get the shot in there.
Halfway through this PA power play as Chipchura comes out through center. Pops off a skate, Reinhardt back to get it deep in his own zone. Waits, looks, up the middle, that goes off his stick, and the Raiders have it again. It's Kyle Chipchura beside the goal to Dane Byers, back again to the captain. Up top, Seitsonen, the one-timer, scores! A power play goal for Aki Seitsonen, and the Raiders now lead 2-0.
Well, that's a nice job by Seitsonen getting that one off on a one-timer, really, and there wasn't a ton of traffic in front of Riki, but you can tell by his reaction that he just didn't see the puck that time. So Prince Albert goes from trying to set up that shot with some traffic in front to working it around quickly, and the one-timer from Seitsonen wasn't a bullet by any stretch of the imagination. It was more of a bit of a floater, but Riki just didn't get a beat on it.
15th of the year for the 19-year-old from Finland, and Aki Seitsonen's got the Raiders up by a pair with 6 minutes now to go in this first period. Gauthier with it behind his net as the fans are into it, and it looks as though the Raiders have come to play for their head coach, Peter Anholt, and this is 888th career game coached. Mike McDonald deep in his own zone to get the puck. He's chased in behind his net, flips it off the boards, and it'll sail harmlessly down inside Regina territory. Foth back to get it. Off the boards to Jordan Fuder, Levi Lind there as well. He'll throw the puck into the middle. Sensman couldn't pick it up, and the Raiders turn back the other way. Lavoie in on the wing. Backhand toward the goal. It'll sail wide, and Polak's on the puck. Feeds the point. Gauthier. They'll simply play it down deep as the Raiders will change up their forwards. Shira through the middle, goes off Footer's stick, picked up by Seitsonen on goal. Enrique sticks it aside. Polak molested by Foth. Pats pick up the puck, and Footer will march up to his own line and out to center ice. Jordan Footer from Cold Lake, Alberta. Had it and lost it, and Foth will spring it across to Pyatt. Now a mix-up in front of the players' boxes. Polak is in it for the Raiders. Looks like Footer is the Pats player. And the linesmen are quickly in there to separate that. Daryl Cameron and Zach Wiebe, though, have their hands full.
It's been a pretty tough-fought game so far. We got a little bit of a skirmish there, and we've had a few penalties, and it's not your traditional types of penalties. There's been some hits up high. There's been a checking from behind, and that'll get the blood boiling just a little bit. And here's a look at a bit of a late hit, and I think I don't think the late hit ever happened. It looks like someone was coming in to maybe throw a late one, and that was nipped in the bud by another hit behind the play, and away they go.
Well, maybe Sunday, end of a long weekend for both these teams, but they have some feistiness in them. And Devin Klein will sort things out as we get to look at the players in the penalty box. Jordan Footer in there for the Pats. He's been a real spark plug for them all season long, and it looks as though Devin Klein's saying 5-on-5, and it will be even up with 5:01 to go here in this opening period. Goals from Novak and Seitsonen. The difference in this game, Novak's 8th, Seitsonen's 15th, and Kyle Chipchura has a couple of points, 2 assists. A.J. Thielen and Dane Byers also with assists in this hockey game.
There's a look at Archibald. He's pretty relaxed right now. He's had an okay evening with just 6 shots. Can't complain about that. Nice to come out in the first period and get hit a few times by the puck without a whole lot of strain. Little delay as they had to fix up the penalty clock. They originally had Polak up there for a double minor, but they've straightened it out now, and it is 5-on-5, like you said.
Chipchura and Ian Duvall on this face-off, right on that center ice red line. The battle's won by the Pats. Pyatt into his own zone for Derek Reinhardt. He'll lift it high across the line, back out the center. Duvall giving chase, can't get around A.J. Thielen. Now Duvall gets it back, and this time he'll play it in deep. Archibald leaves it behind the goal. Raiders work it up the wing, and there's Chipchura to get it. Fans on his pass, able to keep control, however. And it's popped back inside the Raiders zone. Palazzo up to Thielen. He'll rim it in deep. Logan Pyatt collects it. Chipchura steals. He's bodied, knocked off the puck by Duvall. And the Winnipeg native, Ian Duvall, has some room to maneuver in his own zone up to the right side. Brett Leffler stopped in his tracks by Palazzo, and the Raiders drive it in and change them all. Reinhardt able to scoop it off the boards and down the ice. There's Schaefer back in his own zone to get it. 20-year-old blue liner from Mankota, Saskatchewan, cowboy country. He's as tough as they come, the Raiders number 5. As Novak comes through center, taken down, play continues as it's shot in deep. Nick Ross in the corner. Now Houston lays the body on Shira. Puck in there, skates. Lavoie mixed up with Kyle Ross. Tough sledding down deep in the Pat zone as Houston content to keep that puck between his skates. Lavoie as well, trying to get it up against the boards. Now it comes free, and Dennis Topeko has got some room to wheel. Don't want to give him too much room, though. He can burn you as he drops it off to Robinson. Winds and fires, and that's off a skate out in front. Picked up by Schaefer. He's unable to clear. Second opportunity, Raiders will, as Novak cruises out through center. He wants a change, and he'll get one as he flips it in deep. Shira back to get it with 3:15 to go in the first period. 2-0 Raiders lead the Pats here in Prince Albert. As Gauthier goes back after a loose puck in his own zone. Up to Aki Seitsonen through center. Robinson knocks it off the stick of Doucette. And Festerling will circle around, dropping it off now for Peter Callis. Boston Bruins second round draft choice, Peter Callis, in his rookie WHL season. Festerling had problems with it. Callis lost an edge and fell. But Callis gets it back, and some room down the left side. Walks in, or is shot high and wide. Pyatt in at the line will keep it in for the Pats. Down low, Callis can't control it. McDonald flips the backhand off the glass. Seitsonen can't clear. Pats get a hold of it. It's Callis on the right side board. Spins and fires off the skate of his teammate. And the Raiders will clear it now as it's flipped over the defenseman down the ice. Pyatt back to get it with 2:18 to go in the opening period. Both teams getting some fresh troops on the ice as Foth takes the pass and he'll weave his way up ice. Into the skates of Justin Bernhardt. Gets it in across the Raider line. Thielen quickly back the other way up for Dane Byers. He'll go cross ice. Bouncing puck. Chipchura giving chase. Driving wide. Cutting in. Scores!
What a goal by Kyle Chipchura, and that started with a little bit of anticipation as the Raiders worked the puck in over the blue line. It was chipped up the boards, and Chipchura turned on the Jets before the puck was there, and Foth couldn't keep him step for step because he was a little slow to react. And Chipchura just got that shoulder in on him and then made the move in on the net, and of course was confident enough here with the puck to take his time, take a look, and Reiki's down, and Chipchura goes up top. But that's a veteran goal there, because when that puck was chipped up that half wall, Chipchura turned it on and went hard, and he was by the defenseman before the puck got there.
He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that, too. That's a goal scorer's goal, 17th of the year for the birthday boy. 3 points in the first period for Kyle Chipchura as the Raiders are out now to a 3-0 lead as Lavoie steals up to Houston. He's got Novak with him. Houston shoots, and Ricky makes the blocker stop. May at the point keeps it in. Houston in traffic, able to muscle it down low, and the Raiders will get some fresh legs on the ice. Chipchura and Hellier come over the boards as Reinhardt throws it back out to center ice. Leffler in the neutral zone up to Duval. He can't do much with that as Chipchura comes in 1-on-3. He'll wait for his teammates to catch up, trying to center, and Shearer got on the way and knocked it loose. Craig Shearer, Pat's defenseman, looking up the middle for McDonald. That didn't work out. And Goche brings it ahead. Hellier, quick pass onto the stick of Dane Byers, and the glove save is made by Riki, who came well out. Raiders with a jump here in the first period as Topeko weaves in across the line. Quick shot, Archibald, the glove save, and he'll hang on with 51 seconds to go in this first period.
Well, that is a dream start for the home team. A 3-0 lead in the first period, and to add a little insult to the injury, they score one of those late in the period goals, less than a couple minutes left, so the Pats are reeling a little bit now, and Peter Anholt is going to have a pretty good first period intermission, I think, in the dressing room, as opposed to his counterpart, who's going to have to try and light some kind of fire under his guys. Not that they've played bad, but PA is cashing in on the chances, that is for sure.
And they have definitely come to play tonight after that 1-goal loss to the Brandon Wheat Kings last night, as we had a stoppage in play. One of the fans is throwing one of the stuffed pucks onto the ice here at the Art Hauser Centre. And what a facility this is. We'll talk more about that as we move on tonight. $6 million worth of renovations done at the Art Hauser Centre. And I'll tell you what, before maybe this wasn't a team's favorite place to come and play, or to watch a game for that matter, but now I'll tell you what, a state-of-the-art facility. They've done a whole lot to improve this hockey rink, and congratulations to the city of Prince Albert and the folks that have gotten it done, because it looks fabulous.
And more to come, I'm told. The beautiful facade that they built on the building is still a little bit under development inside. It's lovely.
Final seconds here this first period as Riki stops a long shot in on goal from Schaefer. Pats clear it out. Raiders have played keep away at times in this hockey game, as the Pats just don't seem to have the legs. End of a long weekend for them is shot in deep by Nick Ross, 16-year-old blue liner. Archibald steers it up the boards. Callis bumping with Schaefer, and it's gobbled up and cleared by Seitsonen. Nick Ross again gets it across the Raider line. 10 seconds to go in the period as Thielen moves it across his own zone. And there it's picked up and shot out to center ice by Schaefer. Shearer back in his own zone. That'll do it for the opening 20 here in Prince Albert. Home side in control of this hockey game through 20 minutes of play. Novak, Seitsonen, and Chipchura have the goals as the Raiders lead 3-0. We're back with more after this. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Thanks, guys. Scott Rinto back here at WHL Central. We've got a stellar first intermission laid out for you. We'll head back to the Art Hauser Centre for an interview with Regina's Dennis Topeko. We'll also take a closer look at the Raiders as they get ready for a strong stretch drive. And speaking of strength, we'll see how the Rockets fuel their powerful play on the ice. We've also got a tour around the out-of-town scoreboard to get to. And, of course, Drew and Heath will put the first period under the microscope for the story behind the score. All that straight ahead on Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw. Welcome back to WHL Central. The score after the opening 20 minutes of play, 3-0 in favor of the hometown Raiders. Big game so far for Kyle Chipchura on his birthday. 3 points already, a goal and 2 assists. Lots to come your way here in the first intermission, but first we're rushing to PA for a Russian Q&A.
3-0, the Raiders lead the Regina Pats after one period of play. Here with Dennis Delpecco, the Regina Pats. Dennis, comments in the first period?
We start bad, too many stupid penalties, and they scored 2 goals in the power play, and that's it, 3-0,
What do you think needs to be done to turn this deficit around going into the second period?
Be back, play our game, work hard every shift, finish every check, more shots, stay disciplined.
All right. Dennis, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Dennis Delpecco of the Regina Pats, who trail the Prince Albert Raiders 3-0 after one period of play. From the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert, we go back to WHL Central in Vancouver and join Scott Rintoul.
Thank you very much, Keith. Well, based on the score tonight, don't count the Prince Albert Raiders quite out just yet. The Raiders may be last in the East, but if last year's any indication, they could end up being the beasts of the East. PA went into last year's playoffs under the radar and didn't bow out until the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Final. The Raiders left nothing more than to rekindle that postseason magic. And with a lot of home cooking on the menu in the month of February, PA is looking to pack on the points, if not the pounds.
They are establishing their game that will hopefully continue come the postseason. The Prince Albert Raiders are playing a lot of home games in the month of February, which will possibly solidify chances of a playoff spot.
The first half that we were on the road so much, and probably even taxed our team a little bit more than we maybe should have when it was all said and done. But now in the second half we are at home a lot more, and through February we've got a lot of home games, and so this is the time we have to make it pay. We have to make this a hard building for teams to come in and play, and if we do that, we should get our fair share of points, and we, with the idea that we want to win them all. But hey, there's going to be some good teams come through here too, and we're going to have our hands full. But this has been a good building for us. The fans are really important for us, and we have to make this a hard place to play.
It's always good to play at home, and so far, we've been all right at home, but we got to keep getting better, and we just got to make this a hard place to play, and make it hard on teams coming in here and keep getting points.
Any points that we can get now are points in the bank, but I really think and realistically that the 4 games that we play against Brandon are going to be monumental. I mean, those are 4 games. If one team ever happened to win all 4, that's a swing of 16 points, and that would be huge. But, so I look to those 4 games to really determine what's going to happen in playoffs.
The Raiders and Brandon Wheat Kings are battling it out for the 4th and final playoff spot in the East Division. In order to continue playing in March, the Raiders know what they have to do.
A high-level, consistent play. When we send out a line of guys, we should be able to build off of what they do for the next line up, and so on and so on. And if we can roll 4 lines as much as we can and play the 6D as much as we can, and everybody gives us something, and it's a high level of play without any dips, because it's the dips that hurt you, and it's the dips that have really killed us all year long, and we have to eliminate any kind of drop in our level of play.
Brandon's been playing pretty good too lately, and we got to keep winning and not really worry a whole lot about Brandon, just take care of our own business, and as long as we keep winning, I feel confident that we have a good chance making playoffs.
We have to make sure, number one, that we're there first in the playoffs, and that's going to be a hard enough job just in itself, and then once we get there, hopefully we can make some noise.
In Prince Albert for Shaw TV, I'm Keith Hopper.
Good stuff, Keith. Well, the Raiders could use a couple of points at home tonight as they make a push for the playoffs. When we return, we'll show you how the Kelowna Rockets are pushing weight around on and off the ice. All that and more when Boston Pizza WHL Hockey returns here on Shaw. Welcome back to WHL Central. I'm Scott Rintoul. The Kelowna Rockets have earned a reputation as a strong franchise over the past few years, from the owner to the coaches to the players. With the latter in mind, Scott Hoyer is a big reason for that rep. Hoyer may not be Hans, he may not be Franz, but he is here to pump you up.
Winning and fitness go hand in hand. Behind the Kelowna Rockets' success on the ice lies a team of dedicated players working hard off the ice to keep this one of the fittest teams in the league. Strength and conditioning coach Scott Hoyer should be given a great deal of credit for that. His regimen of workouts helps keep the Rockets healthy by preventing injury, and when they do get hurt, it's his job to get them back on the ice as quickly as possible without sustaining further injury. The fitness of hockey players starts with core conditioning.
Big thing is abs, core, and groins and hips, and a lot of it's a good preventative maintenance of injuries, and a lot of leg strength and power for pushing off and taking care of themselves on one-to-one stuff. We use the Boss U ball, the wobble board, a lot of balance activities, stuff like that. A lot of hip machines, skating stride. We use our Russian box back here.
Players recovering from serious injuries, such as a separated shoulder, have their own special program to strengthen their arms.
A lot of the little things early in the rehab is internal-external rotation, abduction, adduction, the good arm helping the bad arm, and just building strength. A lot of proprioception stuff.
Minimizing injuries starts in the off-season.
The big ones are like knee injuries and groins. And if guys do the right job during the summer and during the season, we can avoid a lot of that.
The smaller players continually work on their strength and, above all, quickness to get out of the way of the larger opponents.
A lot of medicine ball work, eye-hand coordination stuff, reaction stuff, and a lot of circuit training with quick feet drills, the ladder, the Russian box, and circuit stuff, and then working with the coaches with a lot of skating.
The import players bring an additional style of training outside the gym, one with an odd name that means speed play.
Our European guys, they like to run. I don't know if you're familiar with fartlek training, but they like to run on rocks and hills and in the trees and stuff. And some guys swim. It's just their prerogative, as long as they're getting the right exercises in there outside, that's fine too. And it's not as stagnant, and it's just something different getting out of the gym.
The team is in good hands with Hoyer running them through the paces, a regimen that is tailored to practice times, games, and travel.
We have programs that are 3 days before a game, 2 days before a game, and 1 day before a game. And it's all on what kind of tempo the practice is, maybe how much ice time they got during a game, and what kind of travel they had.
Over the years, Hoyer has worked with some very well-conditioned athletes. He counts Tyler Mosienko and Duncan Keith among the fittest he has trained, and Nick Marach as the strongest. And a hockey player's fitness extends to the bedroom and dinner table, where a good night's sleep and diet is critical, especially on the road. Whatever the Rockets are being fed seems to be working, and this steady diet of conditioning is keeping the team in championship form.
The Rockets not in action tonight, but let's show you who is. Medicine Hat Tigers, big battle. They are up 1-0 with the Calgary Hitmen. Calgary currently leads Medicine Hat by 3 points for the race for first place in the Central Division. Chris Russell beating his former World Junior teammate for Canada, Justin Pogge, for the game's only goal. Seattle Thunderbirds enjoying a 1-0 lead over the Tri-City Americans. Bud Holloway that is, with goal in that game. Kootenay and Lethbridge still scoreless in the first. The Ice coming off a big win last night over Medicine Hat. And Red Deer has a 1-0 lead over the Saskatoon Blades. Chris Versteeg, his 15th of the year, the assist to Brandon Sutter. Game number 5 on the docket, the one we've got for you here tonight on Shaw after 20 minutes of play. It is the hometown Raiders of Prince Albert up by a count of 3-0. For a bit more insight into how it got that way, we head back to Prince Albert and rejoin Drew Hobrick and Heath Mulligan.
Thanks very much, Scott. We're back in Prince Albert here at the Art Hauser Centre. Second period will be up very shortly. And the home side has a 3-0 lead. He's no doubt who the best team was in that first period. Helped by power plays, but I'll tell you what, Peter Anholt's Raiders sure took advantage of the chances they had in the opening period here tonight.
Yeah, they did. They got out there and they got going, and the two-man advantage never hurts, but you still have to put it in the net. They did that. They took advantage of another power play early in the game, and away they went. And let's take a look at how some of these things happened out on the ice. Boy, the first goal, I tell you, there's some action in front of the crease here, and we talked all night about Byers and Novak being in front of the crease and making some things happen there, and they sure did. Seitsonen, this one, maybe shouldn't have gone in. Who knows? But he floated it from the crease, and you can tell by Riki's reaction that he just didn't have a good beat on that puck. And there you've got a 2-0 hockey game. And then just to make sure that they were in good shape going into the dressing room, the Raiders decided that they should score one more before they went into the first period break. And that third goal was a beauty by Kyle Chipchura. He was hard down the right wing boards, got the puck chipped ahead to him, made a great break on it, beat the defenseman, and put it in the top of the net for that 3-0 lead. I guess we're going to have a look at it now here. You don't see it ahead of time, but that puck was chipped up along the boards, and Kyle Chipchura just simply beat the defenseman to it, got that shoulder in and around, and what a great play by a veteran player. And sometimes people ask what makes a player a first-round draft choice. Goals like that make players first-round draft picks. And what a period for Chipchura. Mentioned it's his birthday as well today, 20th birthday for Kyle Chipchura. And he's got 3 points, a goal, and 2 helpers. Brett Novak playing in his 317th career WHL game. Got that first goal, a 2-man advantage on that goal. And Aki Seitsonen scored a power play goal, his 15th of the year. And there you see Chipchura's third goal for the Raiders in that first period. PA out shooting Regina by a count of 13-6 in the opening 20 minutes. And Raiders full marks for their lead, 3-0 here on home ice. And we'll see if they can keep it rolling. I know the Pats found themselves down early 2-0 on home ice last night and came back to win that game in overtime. They're up against a stiff test here again on the road this time tonight. Well, I wondered after that big win over Moose Jaw, the emotion of it all, because that rivalry is so hot this year, and the Pats have been trying to catch up to the Warriors a little bit. You know, the Warriors have been so hot lately. I'm thinking that had to be one of those over-the-top sort of feelings, winning that one last night, and I wondered if it would affect them tonight in terms of what they'd have left in the tank, and maybe it has a little.
Well, the Raiders find themselves 5 points out of a playoff spot right now, and I'll tell you what, fans in PA still here, they believe that this team can make it to the playoffs. We'll see how the second period goes. When we return, it's 3-0 PA after 20 minutes, and that'll do it for our intermission. We'll come back with the second period play-by-play here on Shaw. David Riki and the Regina Pats getting set for the second period in PA tonight. Pats trailing the Raiders 3-0, and we'll see if PA can keep the pressure on as the second period is now underway. Shot in deep off the draw from center. In behind, it's picked up by Dane Byers, looking to center. Hellier had it and lost it. Byers picks it up. He centers. Hellier had it go off the blade of his stick, and the Pats come back the other way. Justin Bernhardt through center, rolls it deep. Peter Callis with a head of steam, gobbles it up through his legs, leaves it for Bernhardt. Bernhardt will swing it down deep into the corner. That didn't work. Second chance. He'll find his man Festerling. The Pats working around the outside, looking to hook up with Peter Callis, and that passes over his stick. Callis spins away from Thielen to the point to Reinhardt off his skate, held in at the line. Chipchura there to jam it back out, and Craig Shearer will move it across to his partner, Derek Reinhardt. Through the middle, Bernhardt there to play it in deep. Pats will change them all as we approach the 1 minute mark of this period. Here's a giveaway in behind the goal. Sensman's got it. Looking to center, off a skate. Thielen got in the way to break it up, and Polak will take the puck behind his net. Rips it off the boards, not out. Footer there to hold it in. Now Polak slips by one man, and he'll build speed coming out through center. That's stopped, though, quickly. Offside called against PA. We're back with more from the Art Hauser Centre after this on Shaw. Peter Anholt and his Prince Albert Raiders looking for win number 21 on the season. And they're in good shape so far, leading 3-0. As the Pats break out of their own zone, Josh Foth will lead the charge. He'll flip it to the Raiders line where it's knocked down and hammered back out. Foth with it again. Runs into Aki Seitsonen. Now Seitsonen belted and knocked down as the Raiders play it back out. A little mix up at center ice. Now the Raiders seem to have control of it in the neutral zone. Levi Lind will steal it back, and Sensman's got it. Over to Josh Foth. Out to the neutral zone. Footer knocked off the puck. Big hit there by Gauthier, and Houston will dribble it past Sensman. And Pyatt's got plenty of time and plenty of room deep in his own zone. Pass, though, is a weak one, picked off by Lavoie. He's all wrapped up by Foth along the end boards. Rod Lavoie has it in his skates on the end boards. Foth still on him as they continue to battle in behind David Ariki. Novak's got it now. He's got Lynn draped all over him. And Levi Lynn's able to muscle the puck out of the pile and gives way to Logan Pyatt. He'll flip the disc as far as the Raider line. Pats change a few as the Raiders will flip it back in deep. Pyatt there to get it. He looks up ice. Lynn can't knock it out of the air, and Chipchira gains control, shoots it in. Teammates will clear the zone as the Pats get a hold of it. Matt Robinson, 20-year-old from British Columbia, acquired in the offseason from Vancouver in exchange for Dustin Slade. And Robinson's had a tremendous year for the Pats with 47 points entering action tonight. Lind on the wing, throws it toward the goal. Touched up beside the goal. That might have been in no man's land, and Archibald might have got away with one there. Yeah. He's not allowed to play the puck in the corners. Nice dish ahead to Chipchura. He'll walk into the slot. Off a skate and wide. Now they score! From the impossible angle, that's Dane Byers.
Well, Chipchura is going to get his 4th point of the night, and that's a tough goal for Riki. I don't know how it is that he missed that. He had the pads down, the legs closed, but he didn't have the stick in play, and Byers, I think, was just getting rid of the puck toward the goal, and look what happens. Chipchura's shot deflected into the corner, and Byers wasn't even looking toward the net when he let that go, and he's got one.
That's the end of the line for David Ariki. 14 shots, 4 goals, and Lyndon Rowett will come in to replace Ariki as the Raiders have driven the Pats' #1 goalie from the cage. 4-0 Raiders on Byers' 21st of the year. That one scored from no man's land in that corner, somehow finding its way into the Pats net. We'll see what Regina responds with, if anything, down now by 4. Robinson up on the forecheck, trying to pry it away from Schaefer. Around the boards, Nick Ross will pinch in. Robinson back behind the goal. He's tied up by Schaefer. Schaefer throws the puck up the middle, kept in Nick Ross. Shot off a leg out in front, and Dennis Tolpeko's got it. The former Seattle Thunderbird to Ross. He lets it fly. That goes off a body and ricochets into the corner. Tolpeko and Schaefer joust for it. Tolpeko gets it, leaves it for Kyle Ross. The Regina-born Pat out in front. Sights it in, back to gobble it up. He'll rip it off the glass and back out to center ice. Nick Ross runs into a Raider forechecker, comes free for Seitzenin. He'll swing it high and deep into the Pat zone, and the Raiders get some fresh legs onto the ice. Byers' 21st of the year. Chipchura will draw an assist, and Mike Hilliard gets the other. So Chipchura with a 4-point night on the goal. Not a bad start to the hockey game for the Raiders captain. Shira and Doucette collide on the end boards. Now Hewson's knocked off the puck by Nick Ross. Nick Ross has been on the ice for quite a while. End of a long shift for him as Tolpeko gets it up on the right side boards. Side steps one man, gives it back to Nick Ross. He wants a change, but he won't get one there as he put the puck into Novak's skates. Pats flip it high off the window. At the Raider line, it's knocked down. Hewson, short pass on ahead to Novak. He's got Doucette with him as Novak's shot is blocked by Shira. And Nick Ross, who's still on the ice, will settle it down in behind his net. 5 minutes gone, second period here in PA. 4-0, Raiders lead this game. Novak, Seitzenin, Chipchura, and Byers have scored for Prince Albert. Chipchura knocks down that breakout feed, and Shira's hemmed back into his own zone again. Byers trying to knock it off his stick. It's a dealt ahead for Duval, and he'll skate the puck in deep. Centers, Leffler's all tied up, and Byers will corral it and swing it back out to center ice.
Nice job by Mike Gauthier tying up his man, coming right into the slot there. No scoring chance when you can't get your stick free.
Gauthier back defensively, shakes off the forechecking Ian Duval. There's Dane Byers. He's given a rough ride by Leffler. And the Raiders get it as far as center. Palazzo hops on a loose puck. Flips it off the glass and in. Again, Raiders make changes as Pyatt goes back after it. Logan Pyatt couldn't find anyone to give the puck to. Decides to flip it off the glass and in. Raiders quickly turn it back the other way. Pats with it again. Callis with room and across the line. Cuts into the middle. Peter Callis waiting and looking. Wrist the puck into the glove of A.J. Thielen. He turns it over. Here's a 3-on-2. Festerling over to Callis. Back to Festerling. Stopped by Archibald. Rebound out in front. Festerling's dumped. And we'll see a Prince Albert penalty on the way after a bad turnover at the Raiders' blue line.
Cross-checking call is coming up on Thielen, and I think he's the man guilty of the giveaway by the blue line, but Archibald standing his ground here. Festerling point blank, and Archibald is there for it and then manages to get on that rebound. This is tough news for the Regina Pats being down like this. The last time these two teams played, they lost 5-0, and Regina is among the worst in the team on the road, and that's really been their Achilles heel this year. They just don't win away from the Brandt Center enough to really be in contention for the top spot in their division.
Well, the Raiders are .500 here on home ice this year. The Pats, though, as you mentioned, 10 games under .500 away from the Brandt Center, and that just won't cut it. And we're seeing tonight why their road record isn't outstanding. The Pats are on the power play here. Second opportunity of the night as Kyle Ross gains center and flips it in. Fires back to get it. Around to Schaefer. Quickly on around the boards. Held in by Nick Ross. Midpoint, it's Shira. He'll move it across to Kyle Ross. Gathering out in front. Archibald stops Ross, and Topecko's got the rebound. Kyle Ross feeds the point, and Shira's got some time. Craig Shira fakes the shot, hangs on. Over to Kyle Ross. Robinson out in front. Topecko takes the pass. He'll wait, look it over. Down low to Ross. Out in front. Diving to break it up is May. The Pats regain control. Here's Topecko up top to Shira. Across to his partner, Nick Ross. Robinson still out in front, along with Kyle Ross. Shira shoots. Archibald to save in the rebound. Squirts into the corner. The Pats keep it alive. Then is Topecko. Into the corner for Kyle Ross. Skates into the circle. Feeds the point. Shira shoots. Archibald to save, and the rebound is under his glove as he stops it and hangs on.
Alex Archibald has looked pretty good here tonight thus far. He's been very sharp on the first shots at least, and that's usually what counts. Regina working the puck around quite nicely on the power play here. This chance, their second of the night. They're 0 for the power play, and look at that rebound control, which is huge, as we saw on the first goal the Raiders scored tonight.
Faceoff will stay in the PA zone, but the Raiders centerman will get waved. Doucette will step aside, and Polak will take the draw. Festerling wins it for Regina. Nick Ross on the wing to Justin Bernhardt. Into the corner, Festerling walks up the wall. Back to Bernhardt, walks in tight in the crease. Archibald's got it again as Festerling takes some abuse from big Mike Gauthier in that crease area.
Well, some good work by Archibald again. It was down low and tight on his right post, and he of the right-handed trapper takes away the post pretty good here. Watch this. Pad down, shoulder right tight against the pipe there. Nowhere at all for the puck, and they had to try something out in front, and there's the help. The defenders are there, but look at how he takes away everything on the short side there. Nice job.
30 seconds to go in the Pats power play as they win the draw again. Bernhardt walks in, gives it to Festerling, but it hopped over his stick. Now he'll corral it and walk up the wall. Festerling back to Bernhardt. They want to try that play again, but Callis will pick it up in behind the goal and give it back to Bernhardt. Justin Bernhardt back to Peter Callis. Native of the Czech Republic. Side of the goal for Bernhardt. Looks out in front. That's off his skate, and Bernhardt's got it again. May out to greet him in the corner. Festerling digs it free, feeds the point. Here's Logan Pyatt. Back to Festerling. Winds, takes it, rips it off the end boards. The penalty to PA is over as they've killed off their second. 2 for 2 now on the kill as they bring it back the other way. Novak's drive off the leg of Nick Ross. Pyatt sees an opportunity. Quick ups to Bernhardt. That's off his stick and rolls onto the end boards. Bernhardt for the Pats, in behind the goal, centers, and off the point is Pyatt, and he had his stick chopped in half as the disc slides back out to neutral ice. Played in by Derek Reinhardt. Pats changing, delayed offside, and now they'll blow it dead on the offside against the Pats.
Regina had 4 shots on that power play, and that's good news for the Prince Albert Raiders that they kept them at bay. PA's been outscored this year, as you might expect, a team that's under 500, but the second period has been by far their worst. It's about a 20-goal differential in second periods for the Raiders this year, and that power play, or that penalty kill, I should say, certainly works in their favor here. They've got the big lead, and they don't give an inch here.
Well, the Raiders are averaging far less than a goal a game in the first period coming into action tonight. They scored 3 in the first. And Dane Byers has tacked another one on here in the second, en route to this 4-0 lead. As we're just over 9 minutes into this second period. Josh Foth in across the line, knocked down by Sensman. Levi Lynn there to pick it up. He'll leave it for Reinhardt. That a wobbler is blocked by Lavoie. And the Raiders corral it. Doucette will put it on goal. Lyndon Road, who hasn't had a whole lot of action since coming in to spell off David Riki, makes the save, and the Pats will deal it down inside the Raiders zone again. Quickly back to center. Foth in traffic will one-hand it inside the Raiders end. And it's brought back up ice by May. On to Chip Chura. 4 points so far. Throws it out in front. And Rowett gets the stick on it. Pats play it out. Shira takes a hit up high from Byers. Penalty on the way to Prince Albert. As Shira finds a seam up the middle. Craig Shira gains the line. Drops it off to Leffler. Now to Levi Lind. Waiting. Shooting! That's off a body and wide. And the Pats have the extra attacker on, but it will not matter as Gauthier now touches up. It'll be a charging penalty against Dane Byers, who hails from nearby Nipawin. And he'll go to the bin, and the Pats will go on their third power play of the night.
Well, they certainly have a little bit of momentum going now. The Regina Pats, full credit, because after that fourth goal, a bad goal, they did not lay back and sort of resign themselves to the fact that this is not their night. They've been coming forward harder and harder and harder in the last 5 minutes, and they're starting to generate some action. And now, another chance with a man advantage.
Face-off win by Kyle Ross, and Topeko will set it up at the point. Now works his way down the boards and throws the puck into the slot. Shira back at the line. Gives it to Kyle Ross. He hooks up with Topeko. Back again to Kyle Ross. Ross takes a look. Tried to put it on goals. The Raiders collapse around their netminder. Pats will pop it back in behind the net. Topeko lets it roll around for Ross. He'll shovel it back to the point where Shira gets onto it. Shot through traffic off the arm of Schaefer over the net. Ooh. Now Robinson taken down. Play continues, and that allows the Raiders' Hellier a chance to clear. Regina clears the zone as Topeko brings it back in up on the right side. Around the boards it goes. Robinson toward the goal. Kyle Ross, backhand. Archibald the save. And he's there to hang on to the rebound as well as a crowd gathers in around that PA goal. 4-0 Raiders lead the game. Here in Prince Albert, you're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Pats bring it across the Raider line, but they're offside as we get a whistle stopping things up. 19 seconds to go in the Regina man advantage. And Heath, they find themselves down by 4 halfway through this hockey game. It'll be a tall mountain for the Pats to climb here on the road to get back into this one tonight.
Yep, I mentioned it before, it's not their forte, 8 road wins, but look at last year. They had 5 in the whole season last year, so Curtis Hunt, I'm sure, after the first period was pretty dejected about his team's chances the rest of the way. But like I said, they keep coming, they're trying, they're working.
They work it around here on the man advantage. Robinson can't get to it as Schaefer got his stick in there first to knock it free, and the Raiders play it off a glove and out to center ice. Byers back on the ice. Raiders have killed off another one, now a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, as Chip Chura takes the puck up on the right side. He builds speed as he rumbles down the boards, centers, and that's high in the air. Byers couldn't knock it out of the air. Pats back the other way. Topeko up on the rush with Kyle Ross. Ross takes the drop pass, reels it in, pulls the trigger. That hit Topeko right in the mouth. Raiders corral it back behind their goal. Gauthier off the glass and out. Dane Byers with it. Up ahead to Chip Chura. Puck's in behind him, and they'll bring it across the line, and it's an offside against the Raiders.
Curtis Hunt, sorry Drew, Curtis Hunt was talking before the game tonight about the battle last night with Moose Jaw and the fact that Moose Jaw came out and got a quick lead. It was 2-0 in the first 2 minutes of the game, and the kind of work ethic and the kind of never say die effort that they showed last night, and they need a little more of that here tonight. But the other side of that story, for those who didn't see the game, is that it was an extremely physical game. And Curtis said that his players were banging. Moose Jaw players are all over the rink, and you wonder if that isn't part of their problem this evening as well. I mean, these guys are used to playing a lot of games and a lot of nights, but it does take its physical toll on you.
The Pats are missing a couple of regulars this evening as well. We should mention Tyson Siebert out with a separated shoulder. That injury occurred last night in that game against Moose Jaw. And Kyle Deck talking with Pats trainer Greg Mayer before the game. He said it's a best-case scenario for them right now, as Deck had a knee problem that had been worsening all year long, but it's likely a 2-week injury for him, so he's not in the lineup this evening. As we get a look at that save from Archibald, who's done a real good job tonight, I think, of making the first save and not giving up much of a rebound. Not many second chances for the Pats in this hockey game.
He had a real nice save on the last power play as well, so he's been in the right spot tonight. He's played his position very, very well. He's been square to a lot of shots.
Raiders will win the draw at center ice, and they'll drive it in there. Justin Palazzo on the shoot-in. And Reinhardt's back to get it. Derek Reinhardt will flip the puck off the right side boards and giving chase with a head of steam as Ian Duval. Thielen will shake off the Pat forechecker. Doucette lined up and knocked down by Pyatt at center ice. You talk about that physical play. There's a body check from Pyatt as the Raiders try the home run pass to Lavoie. That's off the stick of Pyatt, high in the air. Lavoie knocked down to the ice. Fans want a penalty, but Devin Klein disagrees as it's covered up by Lyndon Rowett.
Rod Lavoie, a call-up from the BC Hockey League, getting a chance to play here in the dub tonight. And boy, that was, Doucette could have been a lot worse off. He saw that one coming just in time, and then you always kind of wince when you see that knee-on-knee thing sort of shaping up, but that was all right that time around. And there's a look at the man who's come in to try and pull it out of the fire here for his team, Lyndon Rowett. 7-8-0-1 this year, has a 3.2 goals against average.
And I don't think Lyndon Rowett would ever have thought at the start of this season that he'd be playing in Prince Albert on this night. He's served quite well as a backup goaltender for the Pats. And as you said, his numbers are pretty decent for a 16-year-old rookie in the Western Hockey League, getting some mop-up time here tonight after David Ariki got the hook following the Raiders' 4th goal. PA with a 4-0 lead as the Pats shoot the disc out to center ice. Seitzinen will tip it back in. And Sensman, who hails from Beaverton, Oregon, leaves it for Shira back in his own zone. Here's Nick Ross. He'll take his time, coming ahead slowly. Up onto the wing for Levi Lind. He'll angle it in deep. Sensman goes in on the end boards with Gauthier as they tie up. Lind steps in to grab the puck. Chipchura looking to pry it free. Now Chipchura knocked down from behind as Hellier grabs the puck, and he'll loft it high out through center ice. Josh Foth at his line will bring it ahead, pounding it on goal. Archibald the save. As the Pats make a change, McDonald works it ahead for Hellier. Through his skates down the ice. They'll wave off the icing, so Rowett will come out to play it. Foth chased out from behind his net. He'll give it back to Logan Pyatt up the wing. Bernhardt gets it out to center. May's pass off his stick high over the side glass, and that'll be a souvenir for a Raider fan.
The PA Raiders feeling pretty good about this one and trying to give their coach a little gift for his 888th game all-time coaching in this league, and that means he has officially passed Jack Shoup tonight. And hey, there's an Archibald fan in the crowd. Look at that. He's working it.
Callis with the puck at center ice as the Pats try and get something working for them tonight. Shot clock is fairly even, 16-14 it reads in favor of the Raiders. But the 4-0 lead tells a different tale as the Raiders are in full control of this one on home ice tonight. May's long lead feed for Lavoie. Gets past him and in deep. Doucette collides with Pyatt. Festerling pulls the puck free, and Peter Callis will bring the disc out to center ice, works his way across the Raider line, pulls up and waits. Floats the backhand pass into the corner for Festerling. Around to Bernhardt. Gauthier waiting for him. As the puck's in between their skates, Callis digs it free. Thielen trying to hold him up as Callis is so strong. He's able to hang on to it. Bernhardt knocked off the disc by Gauthier, but there's Festerling toward the goal. That's off the mark. Loose puck picked up by Novak. And the Raider forward moves it ahead to Michael Polak. In it goes. Rowett scoops it free for Derek Reinhardt. He tries to go up the middle with it, knocked down. Pats get a second chance. Robinson can't corral the feed at center. May fakes the shoot around, and he gets some help from Polak. Robinson looking to dig it free, nearly did. And Polak's able to work it up ice for the captain, Kyle Chipchura. Looking for his 5th point of the night. Rolls the puck out in front. Hellier was all tied up with Reinhardt. And Kyle Ross will bring it back the other way. With a head of steam, leaves it for Matt Robinson. Winds and fires, ripped it wide on the blocker's side. Puck caroms all the way to the line, brought ahead to center by Hellier. And he'll leave it for Kyle Chipchura. He looks to center. That didn't get through. And Robinson puts it off the skate of Dennis Topeko and down the ice. Teams in the midst of a change as the Raiders regroup deep in their own zone. Jeff May with it. Veteran defenseman here in Prince Albert, a steady workhorse blue liner. He'll play it deep into the Pat zone. Shira bumped by Hewson, picked up by Lavoie. To the point it goes. Palazzo waiting, shooting. That's off a body out in front and deflects wide. In the corner again, the Raiders have control. Hewson leaves it. Duval gets his stick in there, swings it around the boards. Held in for a moment, but it hops off the shin pad of Brett Leffler and back out. Hewson on the shoot-in, knocked down by Josh Foff. Shira finds Leffler up on the boards. He's able to clear it, and the Raiders again dump it back in. Pats haven't had a whole lot offensively go their way right tonight. We'll see if Duval can make something happen as he gets a hold of it. Centers and is swiping and missing his Leffler. McDonald's got it in the corner, feeds the point. It's Nick Ross shooting off a leg and wide as Leffler got barreled over in front of the net. Raider penalty coming up again as he and Novak were all tied up out in front of Alex Archibald.
Well, and I don't know if it's Novak that gets it. I guess it is. Palazzo, I thought maybe could be in for something himself here for a little bit of a hack after the play, but Novak will go to the bench and take his little timeout, and the power play for Regina has a great chance here now to get something going. They've been out shooting the Prince Albert Raiders quite handily here in the period, 8-3 at this point, and here's a chance to put a couple more on net, but it's getting late in the period. The goal now would be great because if they come out of this power play with nothing, and you go to the third period down 4, that's just a no-win scenario, I think.
See if they can build something here. Not so good to open up the power plays. The Raiders win the draw and is whistled down the ice. Raiders have been solid from the opening face-off to this point. See if the Pats can dent their armor here on the power play as Pyatt is poke-checked by Schaefer. Pyatt back to his skates, reels it in, and he'll try and tiptoe his way into the zone. Decides to flip it deep instead as Schaefer goes back to get it. Runs into Bernhardt. Raiders rip it around the glass, past Pyatt and down the ice. Rowett comes out to play it with Chipchura looking for a loose puck, and Rowett just barely played it away from the Raider captain.
Little ooh through the crowd on that one.
Byers puts it toward the goal. That'll go wide, and he and Chipchura will head off to the Raiders bench. Nick Ross leads the Regina charge, and he'll put that puck over the glass and out of play. And we'll get a face-off coming up just outside the Raiders line, and not so good in the first half of this power play for the Pats.
No, and they had Festerling and Bernhardt and Callis out there, and I thought that line a couple shifts ago had a good one, and they had a couple solid shifts earlier in the game. They've been generating the most offensive zone sort of control for their team tonight, but nothing at all in the first minute of the power play.
A little over 60 seconds remaining in this Pats power play. 90 seconds and change to go in the second period. Raiders rip it around the wall, sights it in, can't clear as Robinson reels it in. Matt Robinson looks it over. 47 points this year, feeds the slot at Shira, moves it down low into the corner for Kyle Ross, but May is quickly on him. Ross to the point with Shira again. Out in front is Robinson as Kyle Ross takes over. Shira had it hop over his stick, and that puck will bounce back out to center. Shira at his line. Lead feed to Dennis Topeko. Across the line, the Pats bring it in. Here's Kyle Ross waiting for his mates to get set up. Topeko down low, trying to stuff it in. Archibald to shut the door. Topeko to the point. Nick Ross quickly across to Shira. Raider forwards watching those points very closely. As Shira leaves it for Kyle Ross. Off the wall, walks in, shoots. That goes off the stick of May and out of play.
5 seconds left in the penalty, so one more face-off. It should be in the zone. Did it not go off a stick? A defender's stick? Looks like it. So one more crack here for the Pats if they can win the draw to get a quick shot on goal before this power play chance drifts away on them. It has been all Prince Albert tonight on the scoreboard, and despite Regina's best efforts here in the second, they've been stoned by Alex Archibald, who's been real consistent, real steady.
Kyle Chipchura wins the face-off again, and that'll do it for the Raiders' penalty kill. Now a perfect 4 for 4 on the evening as we wind down to the final 30 seconds of period number 2. 4-0 Raiders on top. looking for win number 21 on the year. Archibald stops the long shooting. Rebound off his skate, and McDonald had to go off his foot and right back to Archibald, who alertly covers up.
And he has been alert. That's a big part of the reason the Pats haven't got one in the goal just yet. Seems to be in a bit of a zone here tonight with the rebounds being controlled very nicely, and little bounces like that. Sometimes you see a goaltender caught off guard by that, but he looked real steady, real solid.
We're going to face off with 20 seconds to go. Duval against Novak. And Novak trying to go straight ahead with it. He will. Chipchura takes his stick up high. Devin Klein not able to see that, however. Byers will roll it across the Regina line. McDonald moves it off the boards in deep. May behind his net. Duval chasing him in the skates of Byers, and that'll do it for this middle period. And the Raiders will tack one more on. Now they lead it 4-0 here in PA after 40 minutes, and the birthday boys had a pretty good night so far as we send it back to Scott at WHL Central.
Thanks, fellas. Just 20 minutes to go at the Art Hauser Centre, and 2 valuable points still on the line. We will ask Raiders captain Kyle Chipchura what it's like to score 4 points on his 20th birthday. We'll also hear from former Medicine Hat netminder Kelly Rudy about his days in the dub, and we'll have a look at a Saskatchewan boy who's making giant strides in Vancouver this season. All that plus up to the minute scores from around the West and a recap of the second period in Prince Albert. Do yourself a favor, keep it locked on Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw. Welcome back to WHL Central, back here at Mission Control in Vancouver. Our score after the first 2 periods of play is the hometown Raiders with a 4-0 lead over the visiting Regina Pats. Big night for a few Raiders. Dane Byers has a goal and a couple of assists. Mike Hellier a couple of assists himself, but the big guy, Kyle Chipchura, 4 points on the night, a goal and 3 assists. Let's head back to Prince Albert and hear from KC and the Sunshine Man. It's PA's Kyle Chipchura alongside our Keith Hopper.
4-0, the Raiders lead Regina after 2 periods of play. Here with Kyle Chipchura, captain of the Raiders. Kyle, comments on the game so far?
We got to be happy with ourselves right now. I think we came out, we tried to keep playing a simple game, smart game. We have not too many bodies, a lot of games, and not too long of time. So I think we came out here, played simple, we buried our chances and we got them, and we like where we are right now.
Is this game needed, especially after last night?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a blown opportunity last night. I don't think we played our best game, and now we know we're 3 points behind with the game in hand. So if we get this one tonight, it's only 1 point, and it's a race to the finish.
Kyle, happy birthday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Kyle Chipchura, the birthday boy. He turns 20 tonight, and his Raiders lead Regina 4-0 after 2 periods of play. We go back to WHL Central in Vancouver with Scott Rintoul.
Good stuff, Keith. Maybe you can help him blow out the candles on the cake later. Well, he's one of the top hockey analysts in the world, a 15-year veteran of the NHL, and quite often a guinea pig for some hairstylists of southern Alberta. But before Kelly Rudy made his claim to fame in all of those departments, he was a member of the Medicine Hat Tigers. We recently tracked Kelly down between hair appointments to talk about his days in the hat back when mullets were all the rage.
And Rudy, with tremendous rapidity, moved his way over to the stick-hand side and stoned him. And the puck worked.
I didn't start hockey till I was 12 years old, and so I had quite a late start, and never expected hockey to become a big part of my life. And so when I was given an opportunity to go to Medicine Hat, I'll tell you how I thought my chances were. I went there with 1 pair of jeans and 2 t-shirts because I was sure that I was going to get cut, because that had been my whole history in my life. Every time I went to a training camp or try out for a team, I was always released. So that's what I fully expected when I went to Medicine Hat. And on the second day, our coach Vic Stasiak called me into the office, and here I'm expecting the okay, thanks for coming out. We really thought that you tried hard, and see you later. And he told me I'd made the team. And so I said, well, that's great, but I have a big problem. I have no clothes. I didn't expect to. So had I not gone to Medicine Hat, I probably safely say I wouldn't have made the National Hockey League, and hockey wouldn't have been a big part of my life, because I went there and I was still a really unproven guy, because again, I had the late start and there were a lot of better goaltenders than me out there. And I went to Medicine Hat, and because we had such a poor team, I was either going to be just run out of the game and or I would improve. And even though my numbers suggest that I was terrible, I just probably faced somewhere around we'd go on a road trip, and I don't think I'm off by much. We'd go on a West Coast road trip. Some games I'd get 80, 90 shots. So when you see my average at 6.17, you must think, lousy. And there's some truth to that, but I really improved. Hockey was a big thing there, and I had never experienced anything like that where people might recognize you. And I remember one thing that was, again, another experience and changing, and you have to get used to it, and you have to get a thick skin. I was with another player, and we were in the mall in Medicine Hat, and a fan came up. He recognized the other player and not me, and we had played the night before, and I played poorly the night before, and the fan said, "Hey, that Rudy was sure terrible last night," and I'm standing right there. So you have to learn that, and to do interviews and just recognition, and it's actually important in your development, again, if you're lucky enough to continue on, because you do get recognized when you go to the NHL, and you have to deal with people and the pressures and the interviews and all that kind of stuff. And so when you see it, when you're sort of like the big man on campus in a little town like Medicine Hat, it's all a valuable experience if you choose it properly. I played 50-some games each year, or 60 in junior. That really added to the what I needed in terms of experience in becoming a professional, because, as you know, you have to play a lot of games, and the grind and the bus rides and all that. It really added to my learning and developing. Nobody had any idea that the Western Hockey League could grow into this. It's a big machine now, and big dollars, and it's a lot more like the National Hockey League. As an example, I was telling somebody earlier today about agents, and somebody asked me when I had my first agent, and they were surprised to hear that actually I didn't have an agent, and in fact no agent had ever contacted me until about 2 weeks after I was drafted, and I was drafted in the second round, so fairly high. So you can see how it's different now. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, kids now have agents at around 12 and 13 and 14 years old. So I was already drafted, 18 years old, and had not had an agent, nor did I consider it. So I think the game's really changed a lot in that. Certainly go back, and it's, again, every once in a while it's kind of cool, because I'll go, the same arena's there, and I'll go and I'll walk in, and it takes you back, what, almost not quite 30 years now, and just treasured moments.
Some great stories from a guy who is full of them. On the subject of great stories, we've got one coming up on Melville native Paul Albers. If you haven't seen what Paul's been doing out west this season, you won't want to miss this. We'll be right back with more Boston Pizza WHL hockey right after this. Welcome back to WHL Central, everybody. Ed Belfour, Curtis Joseph, and Martin St. Louis, all NHL players with pretty impressive resumes, and all players who went undrafted in the respective draft years. That's good news for Giants defenseman Paul Albers, who also went unselected by NHL clubs. Albers is having a phenomenal season as a 20-year-old in Vancouver, keying a power play that's tallied the most goals with the man advantage in the dub this season.
Vancouver picked up its third win against the Kootenay Ice last week, thanks in no small part to the power play. The Giants scored 3 times with the man advantage, with 2 of those 3 goals courtesy of blue liner Paul Albers, who credits hard work for his team's power play success.
That's all you can ask on the power play, is that you have to work harder than the other 4 guys on the ice. And recently we've been trying to move around a lot and switch positions, and it's very confusing to defend.
With his pair against the ice, Albers now has 14 goals on the season. Of those 14, 10 have come on the power play, the most of any defenseman in the WHL.
I think it's got to do with his maturity as a player. He's a 20-year-old player now. He's been in the league since he was 16. He's definitely has the confidence. He's an underrated player. He's probably one of the top 20-year-olds in the league, and he's having the season to back that up.
Another reason for Albers' success this season is fellow blue liner Cody Franson. The two have played together for 2 seasons now and have developed an understanding on the ice.
It's always nice to get to know a player. You know what he does, where he is, and I mean sometimes he doesn't have to look where I am. I don't have to look where he is, and it works really well.
The way he plays is huge for the way I play. He moves the puck well. He's always in the right spot. He talks a lot. He makes my game a lot easier.
The Giants will be hoping their power play keeps firing on all cylinders as they travel to Cranbrook for their final game against the second-place Ice.
It's going to be huge. You know, this could determine whether we end up in first place or third place or whatever. You know, every game from here on in is going to be huge to determine our standings. So we're taking this very seriously.
I'm Trevor Miller for Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw TV.
The Giants not only won that game, they've won 7 in a row. Vancouver not in action tonight, but here's who is. Medicine Hat currently up on Calgary 1-0. They've changed the goal scorer in that game. It's now Darren Helm with his 38th on the year. Chris Russell did draw an assist. Seattle also leads Tri-City by a count of 1-0. Bud Holloway has the Thunderbirds up in the first. Kootenay just got on the board in the second period of play. Andrew Bailey, his 8th of the year. And Saskatoon and Red Deer tied at 1. The goal scorers, Ryan Manai and Chris Versteeg, respectively. Last but certainly not least, our feature game from Prince Albert, where the Raiders lead by a score of 4-0 after 40 minutes of play over the Regina Pats. Let's head back to the Art Hauser Centre, where Drew Haubrick and Heath Mulligan are ready to dissect that middle stanza.
All Raiders in this one so far tonight. PA with a 4-0 lead on the Regina Pats after 2 periods of play. As we get a look at this lovely facility, $6 million of renovations, Heath, and this thing looks like it's brand spanking new almost.
It's awesome. You know, it's bright. It's a beautiful place to play hockey, and the front of the building, which is complete on the outside and on the main level of the inside, looks fantastic. They finally have a nice lobby area here, so when people are lined up coming in on those really cold northern Saskatchewan nights for tickets, there's a lot of space in there. It's a beautiful job, and boy, hats off to the community, because they were able to raise a whack of money here in a hurry, and they put it to terrific use.
$3 million was raised publicly here in Prince Albert to get this renovation project off the ground. And I'll tell you what, fans will love coming to the rink now. And they love coming to the rink on nights like tonight, too, when Kyle Chipchura is putting on the show. He's putting on 4 points en route to a 4-0 lead after 2 periods of play. And really, it's been all PA in this hockey game so far.
Oh, Chipchura was in on every goal, including this one. There's Chipchura trying to get the puck toward the net for Byers, and he either had it deflected or just put it off of a foot or something. Here's another look at it, and it somehow ends up in the corner. Oh, there it is, off of a stick and maybe a skate to boot, and Byers just turned and swiped at it. And watch Riki, the goaltender. He looked to have position for that. It's not like he wasn't expecting a shot from there, or was he? But at least he was there. It's just, you know, he got the 5-hole close too late, and there it is, the 4th goal.
Yeah, it looked like Riki almost overplayed that one. Looked like he was in good position to start off with, but Dane Byers snuck it past him for his 21st goal of the year at 3:12 from Kyle Chipchura and Mike Hellier. Neither of those 2 players did a whole lot to earn those assists, but they'll take them nonetheless. And a 4-0 lead right now, Peter Anholt, and this is 888th career game coached. We talked about that milestone. And a nice night for him, and a nice night for this hockey club, this organization too. A lot of people in Prince Albert know what Peter's done and what he's accomplished in this league and what that milestone means to him. And the team's come to play to reward him here this evening as well, which makes it all that much nicer.
Yeah, they're giving their all. It's been a fantastic night for them so far, and it's a big game in terms of the standings too. They're 5 points behind Brandon right now. Last night they lost that game against the Wheaties, the 4-point game. So this was a big one to bounce back from that and show what they're made of. And it's imperative that they keep winning some of the games along the way here. Brandon has been playing pretty good the last couple of months, and they're not going to be easy to catch. So a great effort here tonight against a very tough opponent who has been tamed in the first 2 periods.
And that's the thing, the Regina Pats are coming off that big win over their arch rivals, the Moose Jaw Warriors, last night. That win, in essence, doesn't mean a whole lot when you come to PA and put in the effort and see the performance they've had here tonight.
That's right. It's an unfortunate eraser of what happened there, but you know, they'll get on the bus after and go home and forget about this one and have to start over again.
Well, the 3rd period's a couple of moments away as we stand right now. It's a very comfortable 4-goal Prince Albert lead as we come back with more on Shaw. That man right there, Peter Anholt, passed a few notable head coaches this year in the games coached category, passing Brian Maxwell and Bob Lowe's, and tonight he surpasses Jack Shoup and now sits 4th all-time in Western Hockey League games coached. What a milestone for him. And Lyndon Urowit in goal for the Pats as he came in the 2nd period to spell off David Riki, who got the hook after 4 goals given up here in this hockey game tonight. 4-0 Raiders on top, and Heath, we'll see what both these teams have in store in the third period. A little bit of pride in the line, if nothing else, I would think.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Regina's not going to go away without trying to make some noise here in the third period.
Off the face-off at center, Raiders get it, shoot it in. Pats will bring it ahead, led by Garrett Festerling, the overtime hero last night, as he scored the deciding goal in that overtime victory over Moose Jaw at the Brandt Center 24 hours ago. The Raiders come back the other way. Mike Hellier will bring it across the line, driving wide, throws it out in front. Here's Chip Chura, stopped by Rowett. The birthday boy hasn't been stopped a whole lot tonight, but Rowett made a nice pad save off the Raiders captain. Bernhardt battles to get it free to center, and May will put it back on net from there. Craig Shira in behind his goal. He'll set it up and look it over as the Raiders sit back and wait for the Pats at center ice. Shira plays it off the window. It's in the skates of McDonald. Polak can't advance it, and Schaefer's back in his own zone. Dishes it across for Jeff May. Raiders have been real good defensively in this hockey game, not allowing the Pats more than maybe a handful of good scoring opportunities. Now Schaefer is tied up with McDonald, and McDonald goes down, and it looks as though Schaefer is going to go to the penalty box.
He will, and another chance for Regina. They're 0 for the power play tonight, and conversely, it's been PA scoring the power play goals.
It'll be a Regina power play when we come back to Prince Albert. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Regina Pats on the power play for the 5th time tonight. They're 0 for 4. They need something to go their way on this man advantage if they hope to get back into this hockey game, as Logan Pyatt lugs it up to center, and he'll drift it in around the end glass. Doucette back to knock it down. So Pecco in the mix for Regina. It squirts free, and Chipchura is on it for the Raiders. Thought about clearing, waits, and now he'll flip the puck up the middle and down the ice. And as Rowett stops it, they'll stop play as it was hit with a high stick, and the faceoff will remain inside the Regina zone with just over half a minute gone in this Pats power play.
It's kind of bad luck. What are you going to do on that one? It's tipped by a high stick by your team, and now it's in your end. You got to touch it. So they'll have the face-off there. The Pats, like most teams in the league, not doing so good when they're trailing after 2. They have just 3 wins versus 20 losses and a shootout loss when they're down after the second frame.
And the Raiders are playing their 3rd game in 3 nights. Only the 2nd time this year they've had to run a grueling weekend like that, and it's the last time they'll have to do it as well. And they want to cap it off with a win here after splitting games with Brandon earlier on this weekend. Big battle going on down deep in the Prince Albert zone. It comes free, and May will shovel it up the middle. Byers had it go off his stick, picked up by Craig Shira. And he's forced well back into his own zone as he gives it to Nick Ross. Young Pat defenseman, future blue liner, as the Pats have pumped out some pretty good blue liners over their history. Shot in deep, and Nick Ross has it. Across to Craig Shira. Back to Ross. Shira again. Cross ice. Festerling can't get to it. Now he'll settle it down on the half boards. Festerling into the corner for Bernhardt. Centering Shira there. Can't get his stick on it as Hellier came back to knock it free. Shira now backpedaling to the blue line. Gives it to Bernhardt. He'll play it around the end boards, and Peter Callis charges hard after it. Michael Polak in the mix for the Raiders. He's tied up with Kyle Ross. Now Gauthier knocks Callis down. In off the point is Shira. Can't reach far enough to get the centering feed, however. It's kept in by Kyle Ross. Knocked down, and that puck is shot into the Raiders bench by Prince Albert defenseman A.J. Thielen. And luckily no one's worse for the wear.
And lucky for him, it went over the glass in the bench area and not in the offensive zone, so it'll be a face-off from the point where the puck was shot. Not a lot of action on this power play so far, and there's just 8 seconds left in it, so one more crack, one more face-off.
And even 3 minutes gone by here in the third. And a 4-0 Prince Albert advantage. They had 3 in the first. Brett Novak getting his 8th of the year on a 2-man advantage to open up the scoring. Sights it in with his 15th, Chipchura's 17th, and Dane Byers with number 21 on the year. That's how we've gotten to this point as Chipchura marches in deep again. Penalty is over as the Raiders killing off their 5th straight man disadvantage. Now we'll get a tussle as Byers latches on to the Pack player who knocked down Chipchura. And they'll have a bit of a tussle. Byers hammering away with the right hand. As the linesman tied up the Regina player and left Byers there to let that right hand fly.
Well, that's a little reaction by Byers to the check on Chipchura that we're going to see right here. Chipchura dishes the puck into the corner and then gets shoved right between the numbers in the back. And of course, when you do that to one of the stars on any team in any hockey league, you're going to get somebody coming to his defense, and Foth had to face Dane Byers in the aftermath.
Not many people like to face Dane Byers, we'll put it that way, as he leads this Raiders team in penalty minutes. And he is one big dude, as Byers has done a pretty good job providing offense and providing some grit, some toughness, some size in his years here in Prince Albert. Byers checking in at 6'2", 190. And I think he might be even a little bit larger than that.
Yeah, I think the weight might be a little off there. He just, you know, when you see him out there on the ice, he just looks like one of those 210 kind of guys, and he's taking a little bit of a break now. You know, Regina, not a single shot on goal on that power play, and that was really their chance, I think, to try and take something positive out of the game tonight, maybe get things going a little bit. 42 points for Byers, and for a guy who's a tough guy, that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah, he can do it all, and that's why the New York Rangers took him in the second round of the NHL draft, and Byers leads this club in scoring coming in tonight. I think Kyle Chipchura might change that situation when it's all said and done, but Byers' night, I believe, may be over, as he'll get 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. So, as well as he's played tonight, he gets the warm water in the showers as his night has come to a close.
I think with the $6 million, they've got enough for everybody now.
That could be a possibility as Leffler takes the pass out at center, brings it across the line, and McDonald got a stick down to knock that centering pass away. McDonald ties up Leffler in the corner as a few players stand by waiting for a loose puck. Novak's got it. Novak can't get it past McDonald, however. And the Raiders have it again. Here's Mike McDonald, given a bump from the back by Ryan McDonald. Pats get it again. Here's Duval cutting in front. That's off the leg of a Raider defender, and Archibald will cover it up at the side of his goals. We get some more pushing and shoving near that Raider net. We could see tempers flare as this game continues with 16:03 to go in the third period at a 4-0 Raider advantage, but I don't think neither team wants to risk injury. Both of them a little banged up, PA especially, as we get a second look at that Duval chance out in front.
Yeah, Archibald, watch him on the rebound here. It's a quick, weird bounce off the glass, and bang, he's right there. And he's just had that kind of night where he just sort of seems to be able to find the puck in a hurry and know what's going on around him. It's sort of like that sixth sense thing is happening, and he's got himself the shutout going through the third period here. Oh, now don't wag your finger at me. I don't believe in that sort of thing.
Shame on you.
You can say it if you want. It's I'm not a superstitious guy.
We'll see in 16 minutes if you spoiled the bid.
If I did spoil it, you don't be going down there after and telling him I said anything.
It's all your fault. Don't forget that. Here's Sensman. Takes the puck across the center red and dumps it in deep. Levi Lind in after it. Steps away from Palazzo. Now he's wrapped up by Hewson as the Raiders work the puck off the boards and out through center ice. Craig Shearer stops at his line. Michael Sensman will take over. Around one man, around another. And Sensman will play it across the line to Jordan Fuder. Can't do much with it, however. And Palazzo's there to steer it ahead to Kyle Chipchura. He juggled it and lost it. Fuder, a chance. Weak shot. That's off a skate. And it hops in behind the Raider goal. Evan Schaefer wearing an A for Peter Anholt Hockey Club this year as they try to eat away at that 5-point deficit to get that last playoff spot in the East Division. Raiders fire it in deep. Hellier had it chipped away from him at the point. It's shot wide by Schaefer. Festerling defensively in his own zone. Track given a bump. Festerling with it down deep in his own zone, trying to weave his way up ice, and he's got some open ice up on left wing. Festerling driving wide, gets around Schaefer. Festerling still with it behind the goal. Waiting, looking, shooting. Archibald to save, and the rebound springs free. Callis thought he had a chance, but it rolls back on goal, and Archibald will cover it up.
Well, it's become quite apparent tonight that you are not going to score on Alex Archibald from any sort of short angle, or sharp angle, rather. Every time there's anything coming from down low, he is tight on the post, and he's just taking it right in the body. He has to be quick here, and wary of the wraparound, and there he is right at the post, and he's got it all covered at that angle. And then alert, and he spies that slow one coming and covers it up.
Archibald's got one clean sheet so far this season, looking for his second goose egg tonight. Pyatt, a long drive, and through traffic again, Archibald's able to make the save and hang on.
Well, some nights when a goaltender's in that groove, they feel the puck really well, and they just really have a comfort zone where they're taking it into the body and they're holding on to it every chance they get. Every little weird bounce and rebound, they seem to see it. And it sort of looks like he's got that going on this evening.
Well, if you can believe it, now the Pats are out shooting the Raiders 18-17. But the scoreboard tells a different tale with a 4-0 Prince Albert advantage. Almost 6 minutes into the third period. Sights it in, gains the line. Polak rips it wide. Loose puck to Novak. He'll chop it in behind his sights it in. Kyle Ross trying to slow up Aki sights it in. Side of the goal. They're trying to stuff it in. And it ends up on the outside of the Pats net where play is stopped.
That nearly did bounce in, I think, off of the back of Lyndon Rowett. It was chipped toward the net and may have hit him in the shoulder. And there's Callis and there's Curtis Hunt in the background and probably thinking right about now, well, we sure didn't come out like I was hoping we would after the big win last night. Here's the chance from behind the net that looked a little frightening for the Regina Pats. Rowett got looking the wrong way because he thought the puck was going that direction, and yikes.
Raiders keep the pressure on. It's Doucette in behind the goal, looking to center. And that goes astray, collected by Brett Leffler. Pat's first-round draft choice from a few years ago. Well, pounded in deep, and Ian Duval gets out of it first. Leffler spilled as Duval has it knocked off his stick in the corner. Pats, though, able to keep control. Ryan McDonald. Around the end boards it goes. Lavoie trying to clear. He'll golf it off the window, and McDonald can't keep it in as the Pats will reset at center ice. Shira fakes the pass, now snaps it in deep, and he'll turn off to finish off that Pats line change. Behind his own goal, Mike Gauthier. Up onto the wing. McDonald can't clear, picked off. Here's Sensman walking toward the goal. Backdoor, Lynn can't get his shot away as Lavoie maybe got in his face just enough to disrupt them.
That's heads up by Lavoie because the Pat had lost his stick behind the play, and as strange as it sounds, it worked out good for Levi Lind. He lost his stick, and when he went to get it, nobody knew where he was, because really he shouldn't have been there.
Nick Ross lugs it out to center as the Pats dump it in again. Showing a bit more life here in this third period. Down by 4, however, with 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third. Here's Palazzo the other way. Across the line, makes her move. Knocked down by Nick Ross as Chipchura follows up. He and Pyatt are all tangled up. Jordan Footer hops on it. Up the wing to Sensman. In the middle, Levi Lind will rumble up ice. Shoots it over top of the Raider net. The Pats change all 5, and the Raiders get some fresh troops on as well. Setting up, back behind his goal, A.J. Thielen, native of Savage, Minnesota. He got as far as his line that time, and the Pats will pick off that loose puck. Logan Pyatt up the middle, bad pass. Hellier steals, and he'll pound it back in. Raiders content now to shoot that puck in and wait for the Pats to come at them, knowing they've got that 4-goal cushion. Shira over to Logan Pyatt. Some room to maneuver. Decides to play it in softly. Schaefer hit hard by Callis, who's got it behind the goal. Peter Callis feeds McDermott, his first shift of the game. Shira through traffic, and it's kicked out by Archibald. Michael Polak in tight quarters with Festerling. Callis looking to dig it free as well. Bernhardt gets the puck out of the pile. And Polak spins away from Callis up to Novak. He can't chip it out. Pats, though, will play it out of the zone by themselves. Now Festerling puts it back in on goal. Archibald gloves it, sets it aside as both teams will change him up. That pass from May hops off Kyle Ross. Schaefer will skate to safety in behind his net. He'll play it off the glass hard and down the ice. And they'll call that icing against the Prince Albert Raiders.
Good sustained control here by the Regina Pats, and it's one of those too little too late things, I suspect, but they are certainly making a go of it here in the third period and trying to put forth a good effort. There's a missed opportunity for Lind behind the play as he was disrupted, I think, just as he was about to try and let that shot go, but that's where Lind had dropped his stick over on that left wing side, and he went back to get it, and he turned around, and there came a pass.
Dennis Topeka's got the puck in behind the Raider net. Up to Matt Robinson. If this line's going to do anything, the Pats might have a chance of getting back in this game, but these are the guys that will likely have to get it done. Raiders looking to clear, held into the point by Reinhardt. Now a chance to move it out, and May will make no mistake, but a little too hard. It's an icing call again against the Raiders, and the faceoff will come back near Alex Archibald, who has stopped all 19 shots that have come his way this evening. A pretty solid effort from the Raiders right from the opening faceoff throughout, and they have not really been in any danger in this hockey game this evening.
No, none whatsoever. And you talk about Archibald stopping all shots, and 19 saves in a row is nothing to sneeze at, but there hasn't really been one of those exceptional scoring chances. You know, there hasn't been that great 2-on-1 or a quick pass across with a great deflection or anything like that. It's been kind of a quiet, sedated sort of 19 saves.
Peter Anholt has called the timeout. With that icing call, he wasn't allowed to change his lines. I believe now with the timeout being called, he will be able to get some fresh legs out in front of Alex Archibald. And maybe a timeout called for Archibald's sake, too, knowing that he hasn't seen a whole lot of action as of late, and his confidence may be rising with each and every shift that goes on here in this game.
Absolutely, and that's the sign of an experienced coach. You know, you'd swear watching Anholt pull that timeout trick, you'd swear that he's been around the league for a while.
Yeah, about 888 games or so. Something like that.
Another 530 or so, and he'll have the tops all time.
I wonder if he did work that out as far as miles go and nights on the bus and nights in hotels. That's quite the grind, and he has definitely proven his worth. Otherwise, he wouldn't last that long in this league. But Peter Anholt has done some pretty good things here in Prince Albert as well, leading his club to that upset first-round victory in the playoffs last year. We'll see if his club can get to the postseason party this year.
Just had the little gremlin in my ear tell me that the Blades and Red Deer are tied at 2, and you know the Pats played some pretty good hockey in the last 6-8 weeks. The Blades had been struggling, and I think the opportunity was golden for the Pats to catch up, and they get that big win last night and would have had an opportunity to stay on pace with Saskatoon, but it looks like they're letting this one slip away.
While the Raiders are in full control, leading 4-0 here on home ice. We'll be back with more right after this on Shaw. Drew Hobrick and Heath Mulligan, along with Keith Hopper, the entire Shaw crew, here in Prince Albert tonight. All Raiders in this one. 4-0, they're on top with just under 10 minutes left in this third period. Justin Palazzo will pick it free off the face-off, put it off the glass, right on goal. Lyndon Rowett will steer it in behind his net. Kyle Chipchura digging feverishly after it. Trach leaves it, Chipchura centers, Hellier knocked it wide and collides with Rowett. The net comes off, and Kyle Chipchura nearly at point number 5.
Yeah, he got a little tight in there, but that's all right. Had he been able to pot that one, you know. There's a look at the young feller, Trach, who had a really good chance at an assist there tonight. 15 years old, playing in his 5th game, and North Battleford kid. He's been playing midget AAA up there and getting a little bit of ice time, and it's nice when you have a lead like this. He'll probably see quite a steady regular shift here in the third period, and some of the locals, if I can call them that, down in the coffee room before the hockey game, we're talking about this 15-year-old kid and feeling pretty good about what he can bring this team in the coming years.
Center ice, Bernhardt is tied up with A.J. Thielen. And again, the Raiders' defense have done a pretty good job of holding up those Pats forwards and not allowing them to get loose a whole lot. Here's a chance. Festerling trying to cut behind the D, looking for the breakaway pass, and Thielen's there to cut that off quite quickly in the skates of Brett Novak. He scored his 8th of the year to open up the scoring of this game. This time he elects to dump it in and head off as the Raiders get a change in. Nick Ross looks it over from back behind his goal. He connects with Garrett Festerling. 3-on-3 as the Pats bring it in. Festerling trying to give it to Callis, who's got it behind the net. Peter Callis played with the Czech national junior team in Vancouver. Centers, and Festerling couldn't get a hold of it. He and Hewson go to the corner boards. Puck comes loose, and it's gobbled up by Evan Schaefer. High off the glass at the line. It's held in by Reinhardt. And he hooks up with Bernhardt. May knocks down the centering pass. Lavoie a chance to clear. He'll get it out. And Hewson will get it down the ice. No icing as it's picked up and brought ahead by Matt McDermott. He walks around Chipchura, and McDermott will drop it off to Peter Callis. Pulls the trigger, pinballs around, and ends up in behind the net. Waiting is Mike Hellier. Ahead to Trach. He'll help it across the line with Chipchura giving chase, and he nearly one-hands it home.
That is some skill, that kid.
The net's off by a touch. And linesman Daryl Cameron has spotted that, so he'll blow play dead. But Kyle Chipchura has that breakaway speed that scouts talk about, and he nearly got his second goal of this variety.
Yeah, that's twice tonight, like you said, that he's made a move and gotten around a defenseman. You know, he gets that left shoulder in there, and there's not much you can do except chase and hope that you keep him from getting a rebound on his own shot should he get the first shot away on goal. And he's had an outstanding night and a wonderful career. And you look at him statistically, you know, he's got, I guess now, 17 goals, which isn't a frightening mark, but boy, he just, every time he plays, you know, if you see Prince Albert play a lot, he's definitely the mood setter for this team.
Well, he was the first overall Bantam draft pick in 2001. Sometimes those guys pan out, sometimes they don't, but they knew from day one with Kyle Chipchura that he was a blue chipper, and he is not disappointed with his time here in Prince Albert. Logan Pyatt gets his body in front of the clearing attempt, and he'll shovel it back in behind Archibald's net. A.J. Thielen with it, and he's got plenty of room, plenty of time to bring it up ice. Helped ahead to Michael Polak through his skates into the Pats end, where Josh Foth will reel it in. 7 minutes and change left here in the third. 4-0 Raiders lead it. They tallied 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and are playing through a scoreless third so far. Matt Robinson on the shoot-in, knocked down by Archibald. Steers it up onto the right side, and who's got it? Kyle Chipchura in the middle, through center, past a couple of Raiders. Trach will knock it down and shoot it in, row it out to stop it. Nick Ross up onto the boards for Brett Leffler. He collides heavily with Trach. And Leffler shakes it off and gets the puck. Thought about going rink wide, elects to skate up the middle. Right on goal, Archibald gets the glove on it to knock it down. And it's played around by Mike McDonald. Picked off by Craig Shearer, who centers right through the crease. Mike Gauthier will calmly deal it ahead to Scott Doucette. But the Raiders are offside at the line as Houston was a hair early in across that Regina blue line.
Talk about Chipchura's birthday tonight. It's Mike McDonald's birthday too. He's 18. A couple of guys having a bit of a celebration this evening.
Not a bad birthday party for both those individuals. McDonald hasn't been on the score sheet quite as much as Chipchura has, but they'll take the win nonetheless, which looks like it's coming up. And there's a look at the Pats bench and Curtis Hunt, their head coach, who spent some time as a player here in Prince Albert. Matter of fact, he was part of that Memorial Cup winning team in the mid-'80s here in PA, so he's got some fond memories of this old rink and this city, but he will not cherish this memory if this result holds up, with his club down by a 4 spot with 6 minutes to go. Puck out at center ice, Polak trying to shake off a couple of Pats. Michael Polak's got the puck on the sideboards. McDermott looking to pry it free. The Pats will get it out, and the Raiders will just simply pound it right back in. Sensman off the boards. At the line, Chipchura takes a bump from Levi Lynn, and the Pats come back the other way. Sensman in the circle, shoots, Archibald the save, and there's no rebound again as the Raider keeper swallows that shot.
He's done a great job tonight, and that's great news for Archibald. It's great news for the PA Raiders. You know, he's 18 years old, so he has some time left to play here, and you know, if he can continue to put an effort forth like this when he does get a chance to play, they're going to be using him more and more and more.
Face-off win for Kyle Chipchura in his own zone. On the inboards, Mike Hellier will skate onto it. May takes the check to play it out, and Chipchura's got it again. The captain trying to hit the trailer, Hellier. But the pass was just a little too far behind him. Hellier up to Trach. As the youngster is getting some valuable time now playing with Kyle Chipchura. You can bet he's savoring every shift with number 17. Chipchura, the only man across that offensive line. He'll get it on the backhand, roll it deep, and head back to the Raiders bench. Logan Pyatt with under 5 minutes to go. Out to center, Gauthier shoots it right back in. Justin Bernhardt out to the center ice area. Thielen up ahead to Houston. A pass for Doucette is out of his reach. And the Pats have it at center ice. Bernhardt will bring it in with Kyle Ross. Bernhardt drop pass, a little too fancy, picked off by Houston. Peter Callis tries to spin and shoot. That didn't get through. Doucette bumped from behind by Callis, picked up by Houston. And again, the Raiders will dump it in, and they'll head off and make a wholesale change. Craig Shearer up the middle as the Pats try to get something going, down by 4 with time running out. Thielen and Tolpeko mix it up in the corner. Kyle Ross being held up as he tries to get to it. Taken away by Brett Novak. That heater is a little too hard for Polak to handle, and the Raiders are called on the icing.
Well, slowly but surely, this one is drawing to a close. It's been a third period with not a whole lot to really talk about or write home about, but that's the kind of period that man wants his team to play. You've got the big lead, so you just roll along with it here and take it easy. Nobody get hurt.
Well,
I'm assuming those guys are going home happy.
I think they will, absolutely, but they've got school tomorrow, so I can't be too happy about that.
I suppose they just had the week off. So
here's a chance in
they've
front,
got one.
And there goes the shutout, Heath Mulligan.
Hey.
I'm blaming you. Ryan McDonald counts for the Pats to make it a 4-1 hockey game. That one coming with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to go. And Alex Archibald would love to have that one back.
Oh, that is too bad for him, but Regina has worked so hard here. They've not let down all night, doing everything they can to try and salvage something, and just did slip under the pad. He was there. Archibald was there for it, but just snuck through. And look at the enthusiasm of Curtis Hunt. He can barely contain his excitement.
And that stoked his fire, you can tell. Fourth of the year for McDonald to get the Pats on the board. We'll see if the Raiders respond. Chipchura around Foth, cutting in, stopped by Rowett, rebound. Rowett stopped them again, and we'll get a Pats penalty coming. Well, when Kyle Chipchura wants to turn it on, he sure can. And he gave the Pats some problems in front of their own net right there, and Josh Foth is going to go to the box as he was the one who laid the lumber on the Raider player out in front.
Well, and how about this for a treat? Kyle Chipchura, who's having a terrific night and is the leader on his team, with a chance for young Jordan Trach to play a couple shifts with him. Trach was out on that shift, and he was out on a shift a couple back with the team captain. Chance to get that first goal.
Another power play chance here for the Raiders. Puck's out of play. They've scored a couple on the power play, and that may be the turning point when it's all said and done. They scored a two-man advantage goal early in the first period. 7:09 in. Brett Novak got the scoring started. Then Aki Seitsonen scored a power play goal 6 minutes later with a couple of power play goals. That's all the Raiders needed to build up this lead. Reinhardt steals the pass. Can't clear though as Seitsonen holds it in. Floats it down low to Hellier. Mike Hellier behind the goal. Side of the cage for Chipchura. Hellier with it again. Up top it goes to Jeff May. Chipchura slips it back to May. Side of the goal and deflected wide by Hellier. He'll set up shop in behind the Pats net. Raiders on the power play as Seitsonen takes the feed. Down low again to Hellier. Chipchura's parked out in front waiting for that pass. Now he'll leave it in behind. Chipchura gets to it there. The net comes off, and that'll stop play. We'll get a face-off with 1:14 to go in the PA power play. Now under 3 minutes to go here in the third.
Regina will take that face-off. They were watching the Prince Albert Raiders work the puck around them, and around it went, and I'm not sure who it was that knocked the net off, but they'll take that as it was a Raider, meaning the face-off comes outside the blue line.
Festerling and Polak dig in on the draw, and the Prince Albert centerman wins it. A.J. Thielen will hop in across the line. Into the corner for Brett Novak. Back behind, Doucette's got it. Pyatt got his stick in the way to knock it free. The puck's high in the air, comes down to Polak, who's being roughed up by Nick Ross. Pats finally get a hold of it, and Festerling will steer it across the ice for Jordan Fuder. Back in the middle. It's Festerling again. Couple of nice moves to get it in deep. Puts on the break, slips away from Thielen, looking to center. Fuder's got it, and he'll take it back into the corner and circle around. Fuder given the business by A.J. Thielen with 30 seconds remaining in this Prince Albert power play. Raiders come ahead through center ice. Polak on the left side. Got around Logan Pyatt. Now Pyatt battles to get back into position, and Polak still got the puck. Chipchura trying to pick it free, didn't do it so well, and Duval will play it down with help from Matt Robinson. Schaefer leaves it in deep for Mike Gauthier. Now Kyle Chipchura will wind it up. A goal and 3 assists for the Raiders captain this evening. As he steps into the circle, Rowett makes the save off Chipchura, and he'll swallow up the rebound.
Big fellow there in the crease in Ashton Hewson. He was a walk-on. He's from Cutknife, played for the PA Minnows last year. He's big, 6'5", big tall guy who came to town and said, "Hey coach, got room for me?" And there he is. 2,241 the attendance here at the Art Hauser Centre tonight.
Talking with Bruce Vance, the Raiders' storied marketing director, saying their attendance here in PA up 10% this season, so that's good news. In a city that's seen a bit of bad news with the Weyerhaeuser mill being shut down as well, but these folks in Prince Albert love their Raiders, and they're out to support them in pretty good numbers again this year. Here's Novak, steals in the high slot, leaves it, Trach is shot, and it's sticked away by Lyndon Rowett. 1:15 to go in the game as Shearer takes over deep in his own zone, up on the wing to Leffler. He shoots it high out through center, glove down, and the Raiders get a hold of it again. Trach giving a bump. Pats gain control. Shearer will start across center and dumps it in cross ice. Alex Archibald, who had that shutout spoiled a few minutes ago, moves it up the wing. That pass goes astray, and Rowett's out to play it. Pops out of the corner boards. McDermott to the line, held in by McDonald, and Pyatt's got to go back to get it again. Logan Pyatt looking up ice, trying to find that breakaway pass. Now Duval nearly had it. Sensman can't find the handle. Archibald the pad save on the shot from Footer, and Hellier corrals it, and he'll loft it through the middle, down inside Regina territory. Well, a pretty decisive outing tonight for the Prince Albert Raiders, coming off that loss to the Brandon Wheat Kings last night. They have shown their fans tonight that they still want that playoff spot. The Pats get it out down to the final 10 seconds in this one, as some of the Raider fans start to salute their hockey club. Mike McDonald will be the last to touch it tonight as the Raiders celebrate their 21st win of the year. The final tonight, 4-1. Here at the Art Hauser Centre. Fans will head home happy, and the Raiders now find themselves 3 points back of the Brandon Wheat Kings for the final playoff spot in the East Division. 4-1 the final. We'll come back with our post-game show and plenty more after this on Shaw. Back at the Art Hauser Centre in Prince Albert Raiders victors this evening on home ice. Win number 21 moves them now 3 points back of the Brandon Wheat Kings for the final playoff spot in the WHL's East Division. A 4-1 final here tonight, as the Raiders were full marks for this 2 points this evening as they came out from the get-go, Heath, and they had some power play opportunities cashed in. Keith Hopper standing by downstairs with the game's second star, Alex Archibald.
4-1, the Raiders beat the Regina Pats tonight. Here with Alex Archibald, tonight's second star. Archie, first of all, comments on the game.
It was a great game. You know, our guys retired. This is our fourth in 5 nights, and you know, we battled, we worked hard, had great forecheck, and I'm so proud of the way our guys worked tonight.
Is this a big momentum shifter, especially after what happened last night?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a great momentum shift. You know, I mean, we got a lot of injuries. We got a lot of guys playing hurt right now. And I mean, it's a great momentum shift for us. You know, I think we're only 3 points now down from Brandon, and you know, we got a home or 2 games in Brandon next month. So, I mean, yeah, great momentum shift. Yeah.
Alex, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Alex Archibald, second star tonight as the Raiders defeat Regina 4-1. From here, we go upstairs and join Drew Aubrick and Heath Mulligan.
Thanks very much, Keith, and Alex Archibald. Heath definitely a happy goaltender tonight, and why not? Didn't get the shutout, but I don't think he minds as long as his club got the win, and they were full marks for the victory tonight. He played well, wasn't tested a whole lot, but he was there when he was called upon.
Yeah, it was just a good, solid effort from him mentally, really, to make sure that he was in the right place at the right time. He did all the right things when the puck was around him, and yeah, the shutout's a bit of a downer, but you know, he's no worse for it. You can tell that he feels very good about the way he played tonight, about picking up a star here tonight, and this is the only one that got by him, and really he had that side of the net covered as best he could. I mean, there's not a whole lot more he could have done, he had the pad there, it just slid underneath it. So good night for Archibald.
Well, the Raiders started this game off early, scoring on a two-man advantage, 7:09 in. Brett Novak, his 8th of the year. Thielen and Chipchura, the assist. Aki Seitzinen adding a power play goal as well, as 15th at 13:50. Chipchura and Byers, the helpers. Then Kyle Chipchura, his 3rd point of the first period, 17th goal of the year, coming late in the opening period. Byers and Hellier draw the assists, as you see PA with that big first period cruising to victory tonight. The only other Raider goal scored by Dane Byers, his 21st of the year from that very impossible angle early on. That was the end of the road for David Reekie, as the shots at that point were tied after 2 periods of play. And there's Ryan McDonald, the only pack to solve Alex Archibald tonight, his 4th of the year from Reinhardt and Duval at 16:06 to round out the scoring in the hockey game tonight. Pat's actually out shooting the Raiders when it's all said and done, but I think they're going to go home an unhappy crew. They beat Moose Jaw last night. A big win for the Pats in that regard, but a bit of a downer this evening as they put in the effort that was subpar. I'm sure Curtis Hunt would agree here this evening.
Oh, it was downhill so quickly. They came out and took the penalties early on and had that two-man advantage turn into a goal against them. And right from that point on, it was just, of course the game wasn't over, but from that point on, just the whole momentum, everything was going the way of the Raiders, and it just carried on through the second.
Well, 3 stars, not a difficult chore to decide here this evening. Dane Byers with a goal and a couple of helpers is star number 3. Alex Archibald with that near shutout is our second star. And, of course, Kyle Chipchura, his 20th birthday, a 4-point night for the Raiders captain. He is this evening's first star in this 4-1 Prince Albert victory here at the Art Hauser Centre. Big game for the Raiders, and they're now 3 points behind the Brandon Wheat Kings for the final playoff spot in the East Division. That should about wrap it up for us here from Prince Albert. As we said, a 4-1 victory for the Prince Albert Raiders here in PA tonight. With more on our post-game show, we'll send it back to WHL Central and rejoin Scott.
Thanks, fellas. Good call of tonight's game. Still a few loose ends to tie up here at WHL Central. We're coming right back with one last trip around the Dub for you this Sunday night. Plus, we'll let you know when you can catch the WHL next time on Shop. Be right back after this quick timeout. Stick around. Let's wrap up the weekend scoreboard for you on a moderately busy Sunday. Medicine Hat has taken a commanding 3-0 lead over the Calgary Hitmen. Roman Cerny 2 assists in that game for the Tigers. Seattle Thunderbirds still lead the Tri-City Americans 1-0. Brian Bridges 19 saves for the T-Birds on the night. Kootenay 2-1 over Lethbridge as we speak. Curtis Bilston used to play for the Canes. He has his 19th goal of the season for Kootenay now. And Red Deer has just taken the lead on Saskatoon. Chris Versteeg having a big night. He's got 2 assists, and he's got himself a goal for Red Deer as they look to bounce back and keep their playoff hopes alight. Our game tonight, Prince Albert Raiders 4-1 winners over the Regina Pats. Big night for birthday boy Kyle Chipchura. He gets himself a goal and 3 assists. They gain 2 points in the standings. They're now just 3 points away from making the postseason. That'll about do it for the February 19th edition of the WHL on Shaw. Our next game comes your way 7 o'clock on March 1st and features the Moose Jaw Warriors and the Saskatoon Blades. Until then, from all of us here at WHL Central, thanks for watching. Keep on rocking in the free world.